Rockin' and Racing with Joe Walla and myself, Chris Seaward. We're live. Throw those comments out there. Comments will be showing up on the screen
Rockin'
tonight.
and Racing streaming video and radio show with your host, Joe Walla.
We got our special segments with John Hale, Deborah, and Phil with the NHRA Phil Report. Also, John Hale, unfortunately, will be skipping tonight. But check him out at Best of Texas Barbecue Sauce. And next week we'll have...
Hey, I'll do the John Hale for you tonight.
We got track talk with Deborah.
For Deborah.
There it is. And also we got NHRA Phil coming up. There he is. Weekly report. And our featured sponsors for tonight. Hey, start your watch parties now if you like to do that. Your groups.
Sponsored by Bucky's Racing.
Attention, drag racers, listen up. World Championship racer Bucky Austin, man behind Bucky Austin Racing, can put you in the race car of your dreams. Funny car specialist and more. We do it all. Chassis work, complete engine build, body mount, full dyno work. If you want to go fast, this is the place. Bucky Austin Racing has what it takes to help you be a winner. Just look at the Austin family name, a winner throughout. Contact Bucky today and start winning. Bucky Austin Racing, 6201 South Tacoma Way, Tacoma, Washington, 253-475-5026.
Also, we want to thank System Joe, featured sponsor for tonight on Rockin' and Racing. And Stith Printing. Check them out online at stithprinting.com for all your printing and embroidery needs. Cascade Automotive Incorporated, Enumclaw, Washington. Run with the leader of the pack at wolfpumps.com. And Rusty's Cool Guitars. Check them out online at rustyscoolguitars.com. Joe Walla, the mayor. Rusty's Cool Guitar. Here it is. Rockin' and Racing. Let's get rid of that.
Dude, that was my new flat screen.
That was his new flat screen.
Up? Yeah, you keep smashing all my stuff up. That's why we can't have nice things there, Mr. Seaward. What's happening, brother? How are you?
Very good.
I hear you're coming to California this week, huh?
Yes, this weekend.
Welcome to Cali, baby.
There. Doing a little bit of work, so I'll be a little bit busy, but I'll have Saturday and possibly Sunday night to come and visit with everyone. So I'll be out.
I'll get to see you on this trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be playing out at the fabulous Jawbone store out in the middle of the desert. Dude, it's been 10 years since we played there. This place should pack in, and we're hoping that everybody out there in the SoCal area can come and join us on Saturday night. And if you don't join us there, but we definitely would love to have you guys go see the Craig Breedlove at the NHRA Museum on Saturday, too, a night with the legend of speed himself. So that's going to be pretty cool. So tonight, since we didn't have the headers on, we got Mr. Randy Walls, Top Fuel funny car driver, a legendary man who's been in the sport for a long time. So I'm going to hear some of his great stories. And last week we had a couple of weeks ago with Don Ewald. Nice. He had a picture of that Randy Walls car and completely engulfed in fire. So I should have sent it right back to you today, but it's just been slamming along today. And then we got Top Fuel pilot, Mr. Jeff Deal, the surfer, and his lovely wife, Lisa Deal. Yeah, well, then they're going to be talking about some of the stuff that's coming on with the pro circuit and Nitro, a go-go. And then Mr. Larry Fisher, my buddy from the NHRA Museum, he's going to be here and talking about the Heritage Series and ship chatting away. So it's good to have him back on. I know that We
Nice.
had scheduled a show with them a couple of weeks back, and unfortunately couldn't make the show. So tonight, I'm looking forward to talking to all my friends tonight. It's going to be a great show.
Nice.
So we'll see what's happening. I know that what do we got? We still got plenty of time tonight. I know that Deb's been doing a bunch of cool stuff. I know she was out at Eddyville, and she's becoming a hero out there on the track. A lot of the guys have been sending some notes and PMing me about some of the cool things with that Deb's actually accomplishing out there. So big hats off to our co-worker, Miss Deb, out there making things happen and shooting some great video footage. And I'm thinking maybe we should start the show off with, since she says a lot of her friends are on the East Coast, and I know that Randy Walls is on the East Coast, so maybe we can do Deb's track talk and then do Phil's right after the Randy Walls segment.
All right, yeah, we could do that. We'll jump right into it now.
Yeah, it started off.
All right, here it
start
is.
Out, jump in. All right. Track talk.
Track talk with Deborah Housley.
Well, the weekend started Friday night at Eddyville Raceway Park for the World Gibraltar Nationals. Congratulations, Alan Middendorf from the American Outlaw. Saturday, I hit Route 66 in Joliet, Illinois. This was my first time at this event, and I guarantee it won't be my last. What a fun event. Aside from an awesome car show, it was the Pinup Girl contest, and the band 3 on the Tree rocked the house. It rained, it was a wet day, but you know what? It didn't stop any of the fun. These gals did a great job, and I really enjoyed the whole event. TJ Zizzo wrapped up my day, but unfortunately, the car was unable to make a pass. They had a leak after the burnout. It's still full.
So, TJ Zizzo, driver of the Australian Top Program.
Guess that was that. Dude.
And it's that time of year. Don't forget the World Series of Drag Racing at Cordova International Raceway this weekend. See you there.
Nice. Deb, which one won on the Pinup Girl? Was it number 8? Or was it the one with the dots? I'm just wondering who won. I was, you know.
That was good.
Just
that
taking
was
a
great.
guess.
I love that.
That was really awesome.
Hey,
dude, I haven't seen a car like that one. Yeah, I
What's
haven't
that?
seen that. I I haven't seen one of those Streamliner Top Fuels in forever, man. I thought that was like kind of a 70s. They were experimenting with the wings and all that. The full body Top Fuel cars. So that's kind of cool. Definitely a nostalgia piece for sure. So, Deb, thanks a lot for the footage tonight, and hopefully all your buddies on the East Coast got a chance to see this.
Hey, we got a few groups we want to give a shout out to real quick. We got
go for it.
The Nitro Heads group on Facebook, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and Glory Days of Drag Racing. Thank you guys for watching.
Oh, we posted up a few groups tonight for sure. I've been finding some new guys that want to check it out, and hopefully still with John. What kind of fish? All right, John's cooking fish. Hey, buddy. John Hale, I'd love to have you come back. Hope you're enjoying your vacation, buddy. I wish I would have known. I would have done the John Hale on the fly tonight.
Oh, right, yeah.
John, I hope you're having a great time, brother. Look forward to having you back on the slot, so we'll see what's happening.
Yeah, he'll be back
just
next
a couple
week.
of minutes. So the phone lines are working correctly, I hope, so we don't have any issues, I hope.
No, everything looks like it's all ready to go. We're fired up, so just waiting for the call.
All right, so Randy should be calling in a few minutes and be looking forward to hearing some of the adventures. He's now out there in Tennessee. I know he was, or Kentucky, I think it is. So she was bred in old Kentucky, but she's still a crumb to me. All right. Yeah, stop making yourself laugh. It's your show. So thanks everybody for tuning in. There you go. There's Randy's car right there. Awesome Nova, man. I just can't wait to hear some of the stories that he's gone, what he's done, and it's an honor to get some of these guys that have been doing this stuff forever and share some of their stories with us. So I'm really stoked about it, and then I'm stoked for Jeff and Lisa coming on because it's been a year since we've actually had them on the show, and I see that the car's been improving and moving up the ladder, so it's just a matter of time before Jeff and Lisa hit that winner's circle. I'm hoping that they do it sooner than later, so they should be calling in right around the 7:30 hour, so see what's happening. We're going to talk about Nitro at Go-Go and what's going on with Jeff, and then, like I said, with Larry Fisher, talking about the Craig Breedlove deal that's happening this Saturday night. I'm not sure what the time, so Larry will give you the times on it, and going out and check out the museum if you guys are out here in SoCal. It's a pretty awesome piece to see.
Hey, where's that museum at? How do you get there?
It's actually in Pomona Fairplex. It's on the fairgrounds. It's
nice.
On the west side. Yeah, it's right next to I think the Sheridan Hotel there. I can't remember which gate it was because just that whole Fairplex is huge. So, but
wow.
yeah, it's cool. And at the end of the year when they have the World Finals there, they have it. The museum's open all night, so it's always kind of cool to go right through check out what they got going on. So we'll see what we can put together tonight with Larry. And then also, we're doing the Hot Rod reunion out in October 25th. I think it's 25th, 26th, 27th. I'm not sure if it's the 24th, 25th, 26th, one of those dates. So we're looking forward to going out there and playing at the Hot Rod reunion on Saturday night, blowing the place up like we did last year or the year before. So can't wait to get out, man. And like I said, this weekend, doing the Jawbone store. First time in 10 years out there in the 14 freeway. It's like you get out of Mojave and there's nothing.
Yeah.
And you go about 15, 20 miles and there's still nothing. And there's this little billboard that says the Joe Walla Band tonight.
So just keep driving until you see the Joe Walla
You see the billboard. That's right. And the billboard, you'll see a Jawbone store, and it's on the left-hand side of the 14 going out of Mojave. So it should be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to doing that.
Is the Jawbone a bar, or is that a night? What is that?
Jawbone store. It's actually a store in the middle of the. These guys do a lot of off-road racing and riding and driving out there, and they all go out to camp. And this is like the place to go and meet. They have food,
nice.
all kinds of beverages. They got T-shirts. It's just basically a stopover somewhere. But it's become a place where everybody comes and hangs out. There should be, I'm expecting anywhere from 150 to 200 people out there tonight, so it should be real fun.
Oh, that sounds like it's going to be a great show. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say if you can find your way out there, but
yeah,
if you're in town, I don't see that happen. Yeah, give Chris a ride out to Jawbone.
I'm a long way.
What happened to Chris? Yeah, I can see it now. Where's Chris? Well, we found a hole for him out there and just kind of left him out there. We told him to keep digging.
Yeah, I'll be taking a flight out of here and be over there this weekend, though. And
yeah, it'd be cool to see you. We'll have to find out and get some time together, maybe Sunday or before you get out of Dodge, as they say.
Yeah.
What time you coming in on what time you coming in?
Late on Friday night, so yeah.
I'm gonna test the phones. For some reason, I got a weird feeling that our caller had not found us, so I'm just gonna test it and make sure we're good to go. Because
give that a.
Yeah, I'm just wanna. There we go. What do we got? Because it's a little after that time. Let's see. Give me a number. 1.
All right. For all those that are tuning in, this is Rockin' and Racing Live with Joe Walla. We're going to have a guest calling in.
It's ringing. You hear it? It's ringing. He ain't able to get in.
Oh, hold on.
It should.
Oh, just did a. Huh. All right. Let's try that. Let's try and call him. Here, I'm going to call him. Hold on.
I hung up on you.
Yeah. We're just gonna call our guest tonight.
That's weird. Did you have his number?
Yeah, he just texted me.
Oh, perfect. Well, that's not good.
It says 8:45 or 6:45 your time.
It's 8:45.
Yeah.
It's 6:45.
Hey, what's happening, Randy?
Heck, if I knew, I'd be dangerous.
Well, this is good. If we gotta chase everybody down tonight. This is gonna be a fun night of calling. Oh man, how are you, brother? Good to have you on board.
Well, I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Doing great. We were showing a couple of pictures of the car and a couple of the ones that you sent me of the gray car. I know you've been doing this a long time, so I figured we could just jump right in and we could just start with welcome aboard and tell me a little bit about the history of Randy Walls.
Well, I was one of the original funny cars. There were just a few out when I saw the guys modifying their super stockers and making what they call AFXs out of it when they had no better idea of what to call them. I got to have one of those, so I built one of those piece of craps too. And boy, they were so dangerous. I can't believe any of us survived that. But anyway, just progressed from there. And I raced modified production before that, and I'm sure you know the name Jack Jones, world record holder and all that kind of stuff. Well, he was in C-modified production down in the San Diego area, and everybody told him they better watch out for me and was going to have a fast car. And he said, I'm not worried about it. The first day, he was turning 1340s. The national record was 1272, and I turned 1272 that day. So anyway, I went on to go 1240s with it pretty quick. And I went straight from that to blown, alcohol, nitro, injected, and all that kind of stuff. I had no clue what the heck I was doing and how I figured it out. I don't know, but I had Ben Travis. You may not remember that name, but he raced gassers and stuff, had injected cars. And I went to him and I said, how in the heck does this fuel injection work anyway? And he gave me the basics on it, and I figured it out from there. And consequently didn't kill myself. Anyhow, I wasn't into the big money racing, going to the national events and stuff. And of course, there really wasn't any national events. The very first one included the funny cars. It was 1969 at Pomona, and I should have won the darn thing. But over the years, people have told me the only mistakes I make is listening to somebody else or using somebody else's advice. This friend of mine came to me and he says, I'm tired of your car looking like crap. It's got to have some chrome on it. He gave me a chrome mag hold-down clamp. And first round eliminations, I think I was racing Candies and Hughes, and heck, I had him by like 3 or 4 car lengths, easily going to win it. And all of a sudden, it just fell on its face, and that thing let the mag slip. It was one of those Cal Custom things. It just wasn't strong enough to hold it. So I found out at a very bad time.
Oh, that's definitely when you're racing against the Cajun guys.
Yeah. I went on as soon as I lost that. I went on and helped Jungle Jim and his 2 cars, and of course, his second car, Tire Sanders, driving is the one that won. We changed transmissions and all kinds of crap in it so he could make it through the day.
Right.
But he won the very first one, and this went crazy from there. That year, '69, I came back east racing, and I had, I think it was over 75 appearances. Match races, 8-car fields, 16-car fields, you name it. I was involved in everything all over, mainly the Midwest. Right. But before I went on tour, I started, I won a 64-car field. Did you get those ET slips I sent you?
Yeah, some of them are floating through. There's a couple of them coming through on some of the pictures that are spinning through the night. So, yeah, I saw some of those were pretty impressive for the days.
The reason why I sent you that was that 64-car field where you had to make 5 runs to win it, and I won it. And if you saw the reaction times, I had a .01, a .05 was the worst one. I had that right at a .00. At that time, you could get a .00 with a red light or with a green light, depending on which half of it, thousands you were on. And they're all better than .05. Of course, that was on a probe light, but it was 5,000 instead of 400. So that
there's the reaction times here. Yeah, the tags up there on Orange County right now. You got 01 and 00, 05, 09, 02. That's crazy. Do that now. It's a red light, right?
I know I didn't have an 09, so it's probably an 03 or something.
Oh, yeah, it's an 03. Sorry, my eyes are bad.
yeah, 05 was the worst one. But I took it up to the tower when I went up to pick up my money, and Mike Jones says, there's no way you did all 5 of those tonight. And I said, oh, yes, I did. But anyway, that's the way things went. Impressive. And I should have won the first night out. I went to Long Beach, and you don't know my history, but in '68 I had a bad accident. Paisano brothers ran into me at 200 miles an hour in Irwindale, and luckily it didn't kill me. It just broke my back and my neck, and I built the flip-top '69 car, the yellow one, after that. And first night out, I was so tired, sore and everything. When I hit the throttle, my head would go sideways because my neck didn't have any strength in it. And oh my God! So and the car was going crooked. So I made the adjustments on it and went out on the next weekend. Went to Sacramento, and there had to be 100 cars there going for. It was a huge meet. I think it was a 16-car field. And on Saturday night, the funny cars ran. Qualifying only, and there was $600 for low ET. Now, $600 is quite a bit just for low ET in a race in 1969. And I mean, Schumacher, Jungle Jim, all the guys. Like I said, probably 100 cars were there, and making multiple runs trying to get low ET. I got it with one pass, and the track was pretty snotty. And so I got that, but the next day, like I was saying, listen to other people. I was going through wiping them out. In the last run, Ronnie Runyon, a good buddy of mine, another Chevy-powered car, said, he kept coming over to me, you got to take off in second gear because you're having to feather the throttle. If you take off in second, it'll decrease your power because of the gear ratio, and so you won't spin the tires. So I finally decided to do it. Big mistake. I went almost half a second slower to race Gowowski in the final. He won it. I run her up by about 3 feet, but I hit the throttle and the car didn't even move, and I let off, put it in low gear and took off and went through and almost caught him, but didn't. Just one of those mistakes. And so, and then the next time out, hardly any cars had gone in the 7s, and there was not a 64-car field, but there was four groups of 16, and I qualified pretty poor, 8 flat or something like that. Although it wasn't that far down the line, and I wound up the next 3 runs were all 870s, which was the 3 fastest runs of the meet. And I could say how I figured all this stuff out, I don't know, but I was more on making the best run I could make on a traction, and I think everybody else was making the most horsepower that they could get out and possibly get it to the ground.
Right. What kind of engine combo were you running back then?
What
was your power
just
plant?
A big block. I just started out with a 450, 427, and I immediately found out that there was problems with the mains, like when I was just inducted into NHRA's Hall of Fame a few weeks ago in Bowling Green. Was talking about a few of the modifications I made, but didn't go into it. But like I actually dynoed my motor, you might say, running wise, by having it so I could see where the oil was going, and actually pumping oil through the motor and seeing, judging, eye computer or computer
Right.
eye, whatever you would call it, where the oil flow was and where it was weaker. And I made sure that there was the same amount of oil going to all the mains except the rear one. Of course, I was putting more to the rear one. And like if I remember correctly, number 3 was really weak. It had like half the flow of the other one, so I enhanced the flow of that through increasing the oil galleys and such, and also increasing the orifice in the bearings as well to do that. I did a lot of little stuff that people don't even know about, like I was telling them in NHRA's museum that in 66, I think it was, Champion Spark Plug sponsored me, and I kept telling them I wanted them to make an outside electrode plug. You guys may not be aware of it, but the spark plugs in that era for anything real competitive, the nitro and stuff, the electrodes were up inside the shell, and they were really terrible about fouling out and all this kind of stuff, but they lasted good. Well, it took a good ignition to fire them, and then every time there was like an 8-car field, there would be 9 or 10 cars qualified to be standby number 1, standby number 2. And if one of the cars didn't fire, then they'd fire one of those standby ones and run it up there real quick to make the run. That's the way a lot of guys got in the races. And so I tried to get Champion to make an outside electrode plug that was strong enough to take all the heat and stuff and yet be gappable, at 12, 15 thousandths clearance instead of taking a regular conventional plug, which is 25, 30 thousandths, and pulling it down to 12, then you have a narrow, not matching angles. And they actually dropped my sponsorship instead of doing it. And so I started buying AC plugs. Did it anyway. AC Delco patented that 2 years later, and it was like that was in '66 or '7, and it was like '78 or something before all the other cars started using them. I mean, none of them were using. That's what everybody's using now. And I did a lot of stuff with like Harley Davidson's. Even a guy came to me and wanted me to buy a motor or build a motor for him, and I said I'm really not comfortable with that female-male rod combination they have in them, And also he went to Carl Marlowe, which was a big land record holder and national record holder, NHRA and all that, and had him build a motor. I remember it was $2,800 to get it done, and he took it out, and the national record was I think 1140 to 114 miles an hour, and he ran it a couple of times, and he was going to like 1150 and 113 or so, so he was pretty close. Carl did a good job on it, and about a month later, he came to me. Came to me with it, and I took it apart, and I said, this thing's a piece of junk. It's, this is wrong, that's wrong. Anyway, first time out, when we did that, it went 1060, 119. I called Hank Manley and told him that the Harleys need help. Manley Performance, Manley Pistons and all that. And I knew Hank personally at that time. And so I called him and told him, I says, we need a longer valve for these Harleys, a different rocker arm geometry, and I gave him all the specs and all this kind of stuff. And he came out with that within a couple months, put them in, and then that was the first Harley to go into 9, so 990 or something like that, with 124 miles an hour. But the Harleys, you can only get 440 thousandths lift on them. And so with that, you couldn't use a good spring or anything, so it was just really limited in the powertrain line. So I did a bunch of stuff like that. I don't even have a clue. Don't remember 10% of it anymore. But like I said, the main thing I did was run on the track, not run on the most horsepower you can put out.
Right. So
you were saying something.
you did a lot of this tunings and building a lot of the parts yourself throughout this whole history of the beginning of the funny car eras then, huh?
Yeah, like when I started racing, you couldn't get anything but stock rocker arms for a big block Chevy.
Right.
Anything other than that was such junk. And finally, I don't remember exactly when it was, but Heartland Sharp finally came out with rockers. In fact, but they still looks like they still build the same ones today, and they held up pretty darn good. We didn't run 1,000 pounds of valve spring pressure like we do today, you know.
Right.
Probably 40 pounds or so, but you know, in the early days, heck, just about every run I make, I'd break a rocker on. You know?
Right.
Today, and luckily it never backfired or anything like that. Crazy.
It's pretty interesting because, you know, you start thinking of all these guys that were, you know, exploring the Top Fuels ranks back from the early 60s all the way on down into the funny car eras. And my dad used to work with Jungle Jim back in Englishtown, so I remember seeing the car run probably in the 70, you know, early 70, 71, because I was an Englishtown rat then, and remember seeing the car probably run a couple of the match races and some of the stuff you did. You didn't run. You said you didn't run many national events, or you just stuck basically to. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was only in the '69, the very first one, and then I was in Indy in 1970. I did run some AHRA ones. In fact, of it in 1969, I've been seeing some of the stuff on the internet lately. Pictures. Last run of the meet was me against Jerry Caminetti, and he lost traction, went sideways and stuff, and I beat him by 80 car lengths because of that. But Eddie Sharpman, you know, all the big guys were there. Roland Leon's Hawaiian was there, and all, and I won the darn thing. As far as I was concerned, I wasn't even running that good, and I was running low percentage of nitro and such. What
awesome.
People did. What I don't believe is everybody says, well, running timing. I ran a gob of ignition timing in my motors. I'm talking 60, 70, 75 degrees. But I ran those outside electrode plugs, and I ran them rich. I'd run the same set of spark plugs for a year and never hurt them. And I never once detonated a motor or, you know, broke anything like that.
Right.
But then common run a motor a year. But
That's pretty good considering that a lot of those were just toasting up left and right. But I don't know how many were really blowing up in the early days. I know nowadays the cylinder walls are so thin, everything's blowing right through pretty quick.
Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame today when you're putting out 11,000 horsepower.
Exactly. What were you guys doing, about 1,000, 2,000 horsepower back then?
Oh, probably 1,500.
It's still pretty stout.
Yeah, most of them was using it. You know, I was just really shocked to get some decent cylinder heads and stuff when I started racing again, and basically in 2000, that how much difference the cylinder heads made, you know, because you could get the flow through them.
Right. Fuel pumps are probably.
Well, yeah, I could run up to 92% with a blank pill, but I couldn't go any higher than that. In fact, that's one time I got screwed once when my crew guy. I went a 7 flat in Martin, Michigan, and I had raced to Hawaii, and I must have beaten 30 car lengths. And my crew guy wanted me to be the first car sixes. No one had gone into sixes. I went 7 flat, and no one had even gone to 7 flat. And he up to nitro percentage, and you know, you got to richen it. If you can't richen it, then you got to decrease the nitro. So anyway, I went about 100 foot, knew something was wrong, and drove through, and it just, even doing that, it just destroyed the car. I went a 780 or something like at 140 miles an hour, and just went almost 220 at 7 flat, and it just fried every part in the motor. But luckily, I cruised it through instead of hammering it out of ate the whole thing, you know.
Right. Well, I saw that one picture. Now I don't know if it was during. I think Don Ewald a couple of weeks ago had the picture of the car on fire. So I don't know if that was during some of the nostalgia racing, or back in the 70s. Was that that picture was epic. I remember that car was just on fire everywhere.
Yeah, that was a really unfortunate deal there. That was in 2007 at Bakersfield, and it was the Chicago style qualifying. I actually was racing Ron Capps, and unbeknownst to, NHRA, the guys, even in the videos and stuff, you can see the guys really looking over my car. No problem. When I made the burnout and stopped at the end, I had a lot of fuel in it. I knew it was going to puke a little bit out, and the guy was mopping it out. But 20 foot later, as I was backing back, it's dry, so I wasn't concerned about it. Well, the reason why it dried up is the darn thing caught on fire as I was backing up, and so it was burning the fuel coming out. But the fuel tank had a split in it about 2 inches long where the weld was penetrated good, and a guy came over while I was sitting there in shock after it was all over with and showed me a picture, and you could see that the fuel was on fire through one of the holes in the right front wheel.
Wow.
And so here it was on fire. I went backed up and staged and everything. The crew checked the car over and everything. You just can't see those flames. They're really hard to see. In the dark, it showed up in that picture. And at about 200 miles an hour, it just turned into a torch.
Wow.
With the flames stuff, I don't know, it caused it to crossfire or something, and it backfired as well. But yeah, it was a terrible thing. It was really hot. Destroyed the car, and
it was definitely a horrible. You don't see too many pictures of the cars completely burnt down like that, and I'm like, wow. Glad. I hope you got out with no burns on you, because that's always the scariest moments of trying to get out of a car that's burning down.
I was probably burned over 25% of my body, my feet,
oh my God,
ankles. I'm not going to say the real truth here, but my fire boots had nylon zippers. I'm not going to tell you who built them, but they of course passed inspection and this kind of stuff. And then when they were manufacturing, they put nylon zippers in them instead of Nomex ones. And I even turned it into SEMA and SIFCA and all that. And yep, they were nylon. Well,
wow.
If you're going to do anything, they didn't even speak to the manufacturer about it. But I hear that they have done that quite a bit in the past. But not good.
Right.
And so my boots zipper melted and opened up, and my ankles later were probably 6-8 inches in diameter just from the blisters, and the backs of my legs and my back and my arms and my hands were all blistered and burnt.
Wow.
Anyhow,
well,
I was
glad you got it.
I couldn't see out of the car. How I kept it in the middle of the track, I don't know, but I took every one of the markers out, the lights and stuff down the track. But I wanted to make sure I didn't hit anything. And it just took a long time to get a stop. Every time I hit the brakes, it would go sideways because the rear tires were so hot that they were, like running on grease.
Wow. That's a pretty rough story. That's a pretty rough to hear. I mean, some of the guys already remember some of the story that is up there. Paul Brown just posted a note saying that he cringes every time he hears you tell that story. That's always the worst nightmare for anybody driving, that shit blows up on you.
Yep. Yeah. It sure is. I was so darn successful, and especially in '69. My car wasn't light or anything else like a lot of them. But
right
after one of those meets we talked about earlier, I took off on tour, and I went. My first stop was racing for Dale Schaefer in Albuquerque, and he's quite an inspiration in the revival, we'll call it, too. But he's still around and very active, and somebody you ought to talk to sometime. But he ran Albuquerque Raceway, and I raced the national record holder, which was the Super Chief, Nelson Carter. And, it's 6,000 foot altitude, I guess. And I guess they couldn't figure the altitude out. I kicked his butt really bad the first two runs, and he didn't run the third run. I ran a fuel altered for the third run and beat him too. And then the next weekend we went to Kansas City for a huge meet, and Gene Snow and all the guys were there too, and I won that one. and some of the cars were going a lot faster than I was in speed, but they weren't doing the racing. And then I was in St. Louis racing, and I remember Della Woods, when her and her brother turned into the track, their axle broke on their trailer. It's just dumb stuff like that you remember from the past. And I won that meet, and the next day I called his booking agent because I was supposed to race Pat Foster the following weekend in Byron, Illinois in a match race. And that was an unfortunate weekend that he had an accident in Texas, and the car that he hit, the guy succumbed to the injuries. And so I didn't have anybody to race, and this book agent asked me if I'd go to Miami, and I said, sure. I thought it was about 900 miles, so it was 1,500 miles. I went down and match raced Pete Gates, I call him Job Gates, and beat him 3 out of 3. And then the next weekend I had to be in Martin, Michigan. Big meet.
Jeez, you're traveling all over.
Miles. Yeah.
Right.
So I have a little story that scared the crap out of me and everybody else, and I like to tell this, but you got to believe I'm the least prejudiced person in your acquaintances. I've always had good friends all across colors. It doesn't matter to me. But we were coming north on 75 through Georgia, and people are always pulling up beside you, honking the horn, beep beep, and giving you a thumbs up or a bitching car or something like that. So here was this beep beep beside of me on the right hand side. For some reason, I'm in the left lane. I'm always in the right lane, but I was in the left lane, and I looked over, and there was 2 huge black guys in a brand new '69 GTO, and the guy was driving with his left hand and had a 357 Magnum pointed at it. He said, "Pull it over, buddy." I didn't hesitate. I ran that car right off the road, and it went through a ditch and into the woods and shit. He was probably still doing 60. He hit a huge oak tree. We didn't stop to see if they survived because I didn't want to get shot.
Wow. That's kind of a crazy story for sure. This is the best part about it. Go ahead.
I would have to assume that the way he got that new GTO was from doing the exact same thing to a lot of guys with race cars. Because we were all paid, most of us were paid in cash. And heck, I had $10,000 in cash in my truck. That'd buy 3 of those GTO.
Yeah, try buying one now, right?
Yeah, you couldn't get to a bank very often, and then winning the races or what have you, you had to have the money with you. So, yeah, we went from there up to Martin, Michigan, and I went in there, Don Schumacher, all the guys were there for a couple $1,000s a piece, and I'm in at $300 as an alternate. And the first thing I raced Don Schumacher the first run and kicked his butt, and then Charlie Allen the next run and kicked his butt. And the spectators, you could hardly get them off the track every time they come back the return road. They had climbed the fence, and they were all out there wanting to see what I was driving and all this kind of stuff, and all. It was, things like that just really make life pleasant. The racing is, to me, is more about, I get a hell of a thrill out of driving, but winning as well. But spectators are just phenomenal to me. They're the main reason why I feel I do what I do.
Oh, yeah. I see it every. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, that's fine. I was just going to say.
Go ahead. I'll let you go. I'm loving the stories. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're the next run. I blew the darn transmission right through the roof of my car, and so that was Fred Gowalski in the final run. They had me back the next week for a match race, and all. So that type of stuff just really increased my income. But I netted $50,000 in 1969 racing, and I had somebody with me. You ought to get on your program too, and already.
Right.
Good friend of mine, Doug Cookie Cook. The only one, Doug Cook. Cookie. He came to me and he said, "Would you take my son? He's 16 years old. Would you take my son on tour with you and teach him how to get along with people, teach him how to work on cars, keep him out of trouble?" And I said, "Well, I'd love to." So he was with me. And I was telling you, we were in St. Louis that one race. I don't remember what day of the week it was or anything, but all of a sudden we realized he was missing. So we go into panic mode. We go into panic mode trying to find him. And finally I stopped this cop and says, I'm going frantic here. I've got a 16-year-old kid that I can't find. He says, does he look anything like this guy? Mike was, was in the back, almost passed out. I don't know where he got all the booze at, but so I don't think we better tell your dad about this one.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, we were in Edwardsville, I think it was, Illinois.
Right.
Doe Mine University or something, which was just a big social club type thing. It wasn't a university. I still have the card for that. I have so much stuff like that. It's unbelievable. ET slips and pay stubs and holy crap.
Yeah, when you're saying $50,000 a year, that's like probably a equivalent to 150, 200,000 this year. You know, it's like imagine making that money back in the days. You know, and the guys were making $100 a week on paychecks. I remember my pops was only bringing home 100 and something every week. I go, wow, that was kind of crazy in the '60s. So that's awesome money to be making.
50,000 then, it's probably like $500,000 now. Really.
But it's
10 times easily.
Oh yeah.
Good old inflation.
Yeah. So I know there's so much history. There's never enough time to catch everything. But I know that you just got the honor. I know you were the main man at the Bowling Green, and I know you got inducted to the Hall of Fame. That's awesome. I wanted to say congratulations to you for sure. How was that? How was that?
It was really great. It was really great. I call it Queen Bee. I was the queen. It was just Army Armstrong's a good friend of mine, and he's an announcer extraordinary and stuff like that. He's really got bad health problems now. Love the guy. Right. And I was just thinking, gosh, how neat it's going to be to be up on stage with these heroes of mine, including him and all. And I never said anything about it. And we were at a Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame meeting. I'm on that council now. And he says, man, it's really going to be cool to be up on stage with all these guys, especially my hero, Randy Wallace. And that's why you were great enough, not such a dud at
it. This is pretty. It's always good to know that you got these guys are also you're their hero. And that's always cool to find out. You go to shows and you go to see your heroes. Go ahead.
I never thought my car was particularly fast or anything like that, and I always just if you beat me this week, you better be ready because I'm going to do my best to beat you next week. And I was absolutely blown away. In fact, he sort of woke me up. I guess it was probably about 7 years or so ago now. Dale Armstrong, Dale Armstrong, was the Grand Marshal at Bakersfield at the California Hot Rod Reunion. And I haven't seen him in probably 30 years. And I knew he wouldn't even recognize me. I'm standing back at the back, and he's sitting up at the desk at the autograph section. There's, 30, 40 people in line to sign it, and so I don't want to bother him. I'll wait till he slows down some. All of a sudden, I hear this, Walls, get your dumb ass up here. And I look around, and I couldn't figure who it was. And finally, I looked at him, and he says, it's me. Get up here. And I can't even believe you recognize me. So I recognize you, and he says, I always wanted to tell you, and I've waited all these years to tell you this. Says, myself and several other guys, after you eliminated us in a race, we'd set back 100, 200, 300 foot sometime with binoculars watching you, trying to figure out how in the hell you made your car so fast. I said, really? And he said, absolutely. He says, you're my absolute hero. And John Hogan told me the same thing, and on a little bit of a different subject, too. Chi-Town Hustler, I match raced them several times, for Corners Coil and Minnie Coil. And, of course, he was the one that led Forstall his championships and such. And I saw him at Bakersfield probably 5 years ago. And I always went over and said hi to him when he was working for Force. Anyway, I saw him there and said, "Hi, how you doing?" I said, "I finally figured out how I did so damn good against you." And he said, "Yeah, you always kicked our butts." And also, well, I said, "Well, I know how you are about women and boobs." And I said, "I think the whole deal was you went to the races to see my wife's boobs. I went to kick your ass, and we both came away happy." He said, "You're probably 100%.
That's funny. That's a classic story right there, because I know Austin pretty well, and got to hang out with him a bunch of times over the years, and very fortunate to get to hear some of those stories, because I usually say you can't tell them on the station, but that's funny because that sounds about right. But you guys both are incredible tuners and guys that put the cars together, and what you've done. I mean, congratulations being in the Hall of Fame, and it's always good to have you guys on board. And I know there's not enough time to tell all the stories, but I'd like to ask you if you'd love to do this again sometime with us, because it's always good to hear some perspectives of what you guys are doing and try to preserve the history for all of us.
Sure. Yeah, be glad to.
I appreciate that one. Well, somebody asked what about the Burger King crown, so I figured we'll get one last quick story in.
I had to figure that one out myself. Yeah, a bunch of guys from Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame. Dave Huber is the main culprit at it. He stopped by Burger King. We didn't even know this was happening. He got a couple of crowns for Army and myself, and
right.
wanted to make us look like fools, which we could do that without his help. But yeah, that's all it was. I still have mine just as a crazy memento.
Yeah, but this is always good to have some of these cool little things. It's like when we play live at a lot of the shows, and people, I started getting people to sign their autographs instead of asking me for theirs. Let me get your autograph. So I got some pictures of kids that signed their stuff. I go, that means more to me than signing something sometimes for somebody. So that's cool. That's way cool that you guys get to clown around and keep some great memories about some of the things you guys have accomplished.
One of the things I was talking to Larry Fisher about, is he going to be on later?
Yeah, Larry's going to be on pretty soon. I got Jeff and Lisa coming on right after you. So, and then Larry's going to close the night.
When we were at Bowling Green, we had really great weather, which really helped. But
right.
Like I was telling him stuff, and Paul Brown and a few of the guys are really trying to make this a really a fun event instead of such a serious damn thing. And I said, especially from that style of your guys, because a lot of times we sit around and don't get to do anything, and then all of a sudden we have to perform, and all in our performance is nothing these days in relation to what it was. But to have these cars from yesteryear there is really cool. Seeing all the new ones come out that haven't been out earlier on. I really love it. And we work together so damn good too. I work on his car. He had probably his barrel valve leaking and stuff like that, so fix that. And I love doing stuff like that, and that's why I don't even know if you know that I went to New Zealand. I'm the first American to race in New Zealand since 1977. I think it was in 2009.
Nice.
They started checking with me, wanting me to come over there, and I kept saying, "You sure you want Randy Walls over there?" I don't even think anybody in New Zealand knows Randy Walls. Anyway, probably 2011, I finally says, I'm really, I've got two cars. You want me to bring both cars over, and you want to know how long it'd take between me running one car and I can run the next car down the track. And I said, that's all up to you guys. You got to get me back. I'll have both cars ready, and you have to get me back from the finish line, or not finish line, but shutdown area to the starting line, and we can do it all over again. But anyway, I told him, I said, I think you ought to have a vote among racers to see who, leave it wide open, see who they want to come over, because I just can't believe it. People in New Zealand know me good enough to want me to come over. And they said, well, don't worry about it, it's you. But anyway, they had a vote, and how of all the millions of people in the United States with these fast race cars, John Force and, everybody else, they did. But I got 85% of the votes. And
wow.
It turns out it's it's because of my nostalgia. I want the nostalgia cars to look like they did in 1970. I don't want them to look like, these retro rockets that they do today. And
Right.
I'm basically when it started Nostalgia Nitro Funny Car Class in 2004 with the good guys in the NHRA in Bakersfield, and actually won the championship that year as well. But just keep trying, and but we went to New Zealand, and that was just absolutely phenomenal. It's the only country in the world I ever even thought about wanting to go to, and they spent $75,000 getting my dumb butt over there, and it was a barbecue fest just about every day, and it was really phenomenal. Nice people over there, and all, and I helped. Like one of the guys in the funny car, no telling how many attempts he'd made, and he never made it down the track, and I basically got him to detune it, and he made 7 nice runs while I was there. And there was a fuel auger that I went. There was several cars, but another one was this guy by the name of Dave that has a fuel auger, and it's a Chevy powered one. And I went and looked at it, and I said, I wouldn't even think about driving this thing. He said, why not? I said, you wouldn't make it past 300-foot mark without crashing if you got any power. And he just turns white. And he says, I've crashed it 3 times, and I don't have to tell you where it was at. So he made 2 changes that I suggested to him, and I'd say within 4 months, and I was tuning it over the internet. I was tuning it for him, and he set the national record at 620. And in New Zealand, that's hauling ass because the tracks aren't. It's almost like a no prep track. Not good asphalt, not good springs and stuff like that for traction. So for them to turn a 620, and he still holds the national record too. Anyway, I love to help other people with stuff like that, and even Odie's Speed Shop has a car now. Miller is rebuilt because Odie's was friends of his, and it's a little fuel altered from 1960 with a blown small block in it, and they couldn't even get it started. And they had 6 different people, including a fuel injection company down in I think Memphis, reworked the fuel injection and stuff, and they couldn't even get it to start. And messing with it for months, and I met him at Byron Raceway year before last, and I looked at it and I said, this thing is such a mess, I can't even figure it out. And take it off the motor, and I'll sit down to the bench. And about 15 minutes later, we put it back on, the thing fired right up, and he about had an orgasm. But
well, that's cool.
They just had every little thing messed up, and you got to use your common sense on things. I guess common sense is where I'm the smartest at. Don't do anything to cut your foot off, if you don't.
Oh yeah, it doesn't take much to put these on extreme. But it's just great. I mean, you guys got all these great stories, and I know it's not enough time to get them all in. That's the sad part. I'm gonna have to do a whole Randy Wall show one night, I think, and get you going. But I appreciate you taking some time tonight, my brother, and I'd love to definitely do this again and pick up some more of this the stories that you got, and I appreciate you taking some time tonight to share them with our guests and all our fans out there.
Well, I hope it didn't make too many people mad.
Hey, it's a radio show, and it's live Facebook. We don't care. We're having fun. It's not supposed to. It's not supposed to be non-happy. Hey, we tell just stuff, whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's like racing. We'll say it like it is. But thanks so much, Randy Walls, and I appreciate you again for taking the time tonight, man. And we'll do it again soon. I know it just like the time flies. As soon as you get somebody on, it's like. So Paul Brown says, do a Randy show. A lot of your buds were tuning in and making comments, and you can see the show anytime after tonight. It's on Facebook if you want to watch and see what we were chatting about and see what all your friends were saying, because they were commenting throughout the night. So it's great to have you on, Randy. That's all I got to say. It's been an honor to just chat for the short time I had you for.
Well, thank you, and it's an honor to be recognized.
Well, we're going to do. Hey, you planted a seed on the people out there, and a lot of people are like, yeah, we love Randy Walls. It's great. So I'm glad that you took some time, and we'll definitely do this again, man. And if you got time, let's do it before the year's out one more time, because I love getting in touch with all the legends of the sport. And congratulations on being in the Hall of Fame, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
Randy Walls, everybody. We'll see him soon, and look for him wherever you never know he's going to pop up next. So thanks, Randy. Have a great night. You got it.
We'll be in Indy next week.
All right. You'll find them at Indy. There you go. So a lot of guys are talking about. Thanks, Randy.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
All right. Have a great night. You got it.
Good night.
How cool is that one, man? Randy Walls, a legend of the sport in the drag racing Hall of Fame. How cool is that? And I just got a little note from Jeff and Lisa, but Jeff's not feeling 100%, but I told him we'll do a quick little chit chat if they can call in. So let's test the line one more time and see if we can figure out what's happening. Let's do the Phil report, and then I'll test the line as we're in between there, see what's happening, make sure they can call in, because I don't want to get
Hey, Rockin' Racing fans, this is NHRA Phil checking in for Wednesday Night Show. In Top Fuel, we have Aaliyah Pritchett. In Funny Car, we have Ron Capps. And in Pro Stock Car, we have Jason Line. Coming up, I will have the point spread, how it entails next week. For all other information, always check with my page, NHRA Phil at Radio Buzz. And check with NHRA.com. That's it for this week. NHRA Phil checking out. Joe, Chris, you guys rock. NHRA Phil checking out. See you guys later. See ya.
Thanks, Bill. I love it. That was weird. The phone line worked, so it was like, I don't know what happened in the beginning there, Mr. Chris. So one of those things, I guess.
Yeah, we're good
always
now.
Seems to happen on the first call. Golden, as they say.
Golden.
Hey, everybody! Thanks for tuning in. And I saw that a few people that I hadn't seen actually watching the show. So big shout out to Mr. Rick Sanos for tuning in tonight. I've been asking to see if he want to come on the show. I remember Rick from back in the days of top alcohol drag racing back in the day with the 350 small block motor, slaying the big dogs all the time, and he was one of my heroes in the top alcohol dragster thing. Every place I went to, he was always dangerous when he was in the field. So I'd love to talk about some of his history. If you're still watching, Phil, Rick, I'd love to have you on. I'm looking at names as they pop up, but yeah, I'd love to have you on. Hey, Joe, what's up? I'm racing at Irwindale. Good night. Hope you kick some butt out there, Dave Chess. Thanks for calling in. Or thanks for checking in, calling in. I'm doing 1,000. This is what happens when you're live. So I'm going to see if I can get Lisa and Jeff. At least Lisa can call for a few seconds and chit-chat and see what's happening, because I know he said Jeff isn't feeling 100%. So hopefully this is like what happens when we're live sometimes. So let me see what's going on. Hey, you know what? Let's run a couple of commercials real quick while we're sitting. What do you say?
Rockin' and Racing will return after this message from our sponsors.
Attention, drag racers, listen up. World Championship racer Bucky Austin, man behind Bucky Austin Racing, can put you in the race car of your dreams. Funny car specialist and more. We do it all. Chassis work, complete engine build, body mount, full dyno work. If you want to go fast, this is the place. Bucky Austin Racing has what it takes to help you be a winner. Just look at the Austin family name, a winner throughout. Contact Bucky today and start winning. Bucky Austin Racing, 6201 South Tacoma Way, Tacoma, Washington, 253-475-5026.
And we'd like to thank Cascade Automotive Incorporated, Enumclaw, Washington. It's featured sponsor tonight. Also, Rusty's Cool Guitars. Joe Walla, the mayor of Rusty's Cool Guitars. You can check them out online. Rusty'sCoolGuitars.com. Start your watch parties if you'd like now. Also, check out Stith Printing for all your printing and embroidery needs. StithPrinting.com. run with the leader of the pack at wolfpumps.com. System Joe, featured sponsor tonight. Thank you so much for your support.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind.
Become a featured sponsor with Rockin' and Racing for $50 per month for a website link, and featured sponsors are $300.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Give us a call, 661-249-9444. Let's get back to the show with Joe.
Can't read my thoughts, can't read my thoughts, can't read my thoughts, can't read my thoughts. Can't read my thoughts. I can't have it. I can't have any of this.
Oh, that's great. Did you have that fitted? Is that fitted for your,
This one's fitted.
Yeah.
I can't have this anymore. You're reading my thoughts. Well, I don't know if Jeff and Lisa are going to make the call. Hopefully, I'll get a phone call in a few minutes. But if not, we'll open up the lines and take a call before Mr. Fisher calls in, because he's going to be calling in right about 8:10, somewhere in that zone. So
excellent.
If you guys are out there and you want to chit-chat a minute, say, hey, what's happening? Thanks, everybody, again, for tuning in tonight. And it's been real awesome to have Randy Walls on, the legend himself, on the show. It's always great to have the guys who've had the history of the sport. Let me get this thing off my head, because I feel like I'm baking a potato. We'll do it later,
cooking.
Yeah, I'm cooking. The brain's cooking. So, yeah, sometimes it is what it is, and unfortunately, I was looking forward to talking to Jeff and Lisa. So hopefully she'll make a call in just for a quick chat. But if you guys are out there want to chit chat a quick minute, give us a buzz in, man. Let us know what your thoughts are tonight. Who's your favorite racers? What's going on? Tell us what's happening in your neck of the woods. See what's going on. Hey, Randy, thanks again. And hey, Wesley, I saw that it was a successful weekend for you guys out there at the El Segundo Car Show, so that's awesome. I'm glad you guys got a great turnout for that one. So, I feel like a Maytag repairman now. All right, we're standing by 661-249-0455.
It sounded better with less bass, Chris. Was there less bass? Did we have too much bass?
Bass? It's all about that bass.
Yeah.
Well, there's some of the stuff with Lisa right here. We'll run some of the pictures, because I hope that she can call in and just chit-chat for a minute. Nitro Go-Go, if you guys haven't checked out some of the stuff that you guys might want to get your lady something cool, or, Lisa does some pretty cool stuff out there with her handbags and her she has helmet bags for the racers that they're making. So check out Nitro Go-Go. There you go. Some of the cool stuff that they made, wallets and stuff like that. So
that's cool.
We'll throw out some free plugs.
Yeah.
I like that handbag.
Yeah,
that's cool. I love
really
the stars and stripes.
Cool. Yeah, I like that wallet.
So we might have to, bug Lisa and say, here, send us some of these, please. And then, of course, Jeff. Everybody knows Jeff Deal, the surfer, Nitro Surfer. She's the backup babe for Jeff, and you'll see him in a lot of the major national events across the country. If they don't get a chance to chat in, get well. They're my brother, and hope you feel better, Jeff. So we'll see what's happening. But there's a couple of pictures for everybody. Nice. All right. Hey, you guys want to give us a chit chat for a quick second? Things happen in the live show, so usually I keep it floating as fast as we can. Tonight's one of those nights. Wasn't expecting to have a short moment here. Speaking of laugh track, I hear Pete. Pistol Pete's. Yeah, that's true. Pistol Pete. He'll probably bring his Walla wig out next week. I expect to see that. And he's got a bunch of his buddies from the East Coast. Hey, there we go.
And you're live on Rockin' and Racing.
Hey, Joe, it's Brian Hoffsmith, Nitro Kevin.
What's happening, you guys? It's been a while since we chit-chatted with you. How's life?
We had a little rough spell, but it's getting better. I just wanted to let you guys know that, we're coming back. So getting a new tow vehicle, new to us tow vehicle, and we are planning on going out to Tulsa for the Nitro Nationals.
Right.
And then hitting Denton on the way back. We're very happy to see UNFC come to Tucson, so hoping a lot of people will show up for that.
Well, that should be pretty fun. I mean, right. Yeah, it's been a while. It's definitely been a while. Last time I think we were chit-chatting was at the Nitro Revival. That's how fast time goes by.
Right. So I just thought since you had a minute, I was just going to call and let everybody know if you're in the Tulsa area. We are planning on going to that. We've never been there. I'm hoping that they're going to let us bring in the trailer and the hot rod wheelchair and all that good stuff, but we'll see.
Why wouldn't they? That's the secondary question. Why wouldn't they? Come on, you guys are like super fans.
Well,
so
yeah, you know, fortunately we're going to know a lot of those racers, but we've been to like national events and we don't know anybody in the NHRA that lets us in, so that it's hard to get the trailer in to a regular race like that NHRA runs for us.
Well, yeah, that's understandable. It's almost impossible to get in any of those deals if you don't have a already pre-credentialed and all that. And yeah, I know it's what do you do, right?
Yeah,
but
right.
You know, I'm sure Funny Car Chaos and the Tucson race and coming up to the Hot Rod reunion pretty soon. You never have any issues getting into those. I'm sure that Chris Graves and his lovely wife will make accommodations if you go into a Funny Car Chaos to get you guys in. You guys shouldn't have any problem.
Yeah, I can't say enough for those. Chris Graves and Tara, they've always treated us extremely well, so we love going to the Funny Car Chaoses. We've been to a couple of those, 2, 3, 4 of those, so we always love going to those because we get treated very well at those.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun. It should be.
Yeah, it's just
awesome.
the NHRA races that we kind of worry about. Like the Hot Rod reunion last year, we were able to get a hold of Shara, and she kind of took care of us. So I'm hoping that'll happen again this year. But we don't know what's going to happen here in Tulsa.
Yeah. Probably just send a note to the track or call up there and tell them, hey, I'm coming with the trailer and I have my son that's special needs and we'd love to. We have a big following from a lot of racers and send a picture with on your phone or something, and that's how you get them in, saying, hey, we're coming in, you and Kevin in a picture, and send it.
Yeah, well, I haven't sent a picture, but I've called and emailed and everything else Tulsa. I got nothing back, so that's fine. I figure this weekend, since I'm off now, it's hard for me to get to listen to your show because I work on Wednesdays, 12-hour days. So
it's the joy of working, man. That's always the fun part, right? So we
gotta
make money.
Yeah, but we hate missing the show.
You know, you can always watch it the next day. I know it's not the same, but if there's always something interesting you want to catch, you know, it's pretty much regimented. So we always appreciate you guys tuning in. How's Kevin? How's Kevin doing? Is he doing all right?
Yeah, he's doing good. You know, he was having a little spell. I don't know what his deal was, but he kind of snapped out of it Sunday night. So he's doing really good now. And like I said, I kind of messed up and killed his car, so I got batteries back in it. And he hasn't been back in the car here in a little while, so we'll get him out not this weekend. Next weekend we're going up to Bisbee for a big car show, so that ought to be a good deal. Nice. Get him out in his car. He'll be fine.
Nice. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, I look forward to seeing you, man, when you come on out. I was thinking about trying to get us out to Denton. I'm not sure yet if we can make the Denton thing or not because I got a few things that are still in limbo and I haven't secured them yet. So I'm just waiting to see if we're going to maybe play up in Frisco. So I'm just waiting to find out what's going. I might surprise you and see everybody in Denton still.
Well, that'd be awesome because, you know, Chris and Tara take good care of you. They'd probably love to have you out there. That'd be a good gig.
Well, Yeah, I want to see what's happening at the Chaos, because everybody's pretty hyped about the Chaoses, and everybody out there who's seen them has just been nothing but raving about Funny Car Chaos, how awesome it is. So that's one of them things I definitely want to see, even though it's an 8th mile. I know it's a short blast, but I think it would be awesome to see these guys flying through there. So we'll have to see, man.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping you'll show up. I saw Alan on there earlier, Middledorf, and he's already won one, couple of them. He's won a few ultra, World Tree Ultra deals. So you got to see that car. That car is really big.
That, especially with Jake Sanders tuning it. There's a guy, Mike Diodario, just posted something up on one of the things. Brian, get a hold of Alan Peoples at Tulsa. He's the entertainment special events guy. So Alan Peoples is the guy you need to get in touch with at Tulsa to get yourself in there.
Appreciate that, and we'll do that. I'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'll be calling him.
Awesome.
Just so we're good to go.
There you go. We got you in. just let us know next week that we got you taken care of, man. Well, thanks for taking a few seconds to holler, brother. Yeah, great, man.
You take care.
Well, thanks a lot, and I will see you soon, my brother.
All righty. It's always great talking to you, Joe. Can't wait to see you.
You got it, Mr. B, and say hi to Nitro Kevin for us, and we'll see you as soon as time allows us, man, and hope everything's well, man, and let us know you got into Tulsa.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know. I'll shoot you an email or something.
Yeah, perfect. Or shoot a note on Facebook and say, hey, man, we got in. And thanks, Mike Diodario, for sending that info for you.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Mike. I'll let everybody know where we sit, but we're planning on going, so we'll see how all that works out, but we'll be there.
Well, awesome, man. Well, we look forward to seeing you, man, and thanks for taking a few minutes to give us a shout out, brother.
All right, thanks, Joe.
You got it. See you soon, Brian. You got it.
All right,
you got it. Thanks for calling.
You, brother.
You got it.
Okay, bye.
The Nitro Kids, Brian and Kevin. How awesome! Thanks, brother.
All right.
What's up, Mikey Irwin? I see you're on the show tonight. We're gonna go ahead. Hello, you're online.
Joe?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
I have a question for you. This weekend you're playing out in the desert. Do they allow stalkers? Because I'd like to come see your show.
You should come on out. Nobody's going to know who you are, not even myself. So I won't know if you're there or not.
You know me. I'll be the girl with the short dress on. I'll pull it up and point at a particular area. Then you know it's me. Because I still want your baby, Joe.
I might turn a couple of colors when you do that, especially if you're dancing on a table. You know, that could get me in trouble. You know, my girlfriend is going to show up there. I don't want her to, beat me on the way home.
That's okay. I've been to the doctor, and he prescribed some pills. I'll put one in her drink, and she'll be out the whole night. That'll have 5 minutes for us to get together, and that's 30 seconds for us to conceive, and 4.5 minutes to have a cigarette afterwards.
Oh, you're killing me. 30 seconds to conceive. It might take a little bit less time than that. I'm the minute man.
I'm allowing for foreplay, Joe.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So tell us more about it. I'm very curious. Tell us more about it, please.
All right. Well, it's at Jawbone Store, which is off the 14 freeway out of Mojave, which already you're going to know it's out in the middle of nowhere. And the funny part is we played there a couple of years ago, actually 10 to be exact. We used to do it. And the thing about it is when we first played there, I'm going, this place is not going to pack in with anybody. First time we played there had about 150 people out in the middle of the desert. Dirt bikes were everywhere. They're all hanging out. And I was worried about if I could play a song I got called Crackcore. That was one of the questions I asked them. Oh, yeah, the kids will love it. I go, the kids? Yeah. So we kind of dominated that for a few years, and it was an awesome time playing out there. Some of the greatest people I've met out there on the weekends of Thanksgiving and Memorial Day weekends when it would pack in 200-300 people. We would play from like 12 to 4, supposedly. Nah, not the Joe Walla band. It went from like 12 to 7 at night. So it was great times, and it's 7 o'clock at night. So it'll be a little cooler for everybody. So 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock is the tentative time that we are playing. Since it's the first time, I'm going to probably be as tight as the time as I can without overdoing the time, because I don't want anybody going out there drinking too much and on a dirt bike or any of that stuff, because we had that happen one year, and I'm sure that's one of the reasons why we got banned, because we played for so long and people were getting a little stupid. So you control yourself, young lady.
Well, I look forward to seeing you. And I understand that you're having that Pete guy back on next week. I don't like that guy, Joe. He doesn't have enough hair to be hanging around with you.
Well, if he wears his Walla wig, it'll be okay. But, yeah, I agree with you.
Oh.
You know, these guys have got no hair, man. It's a rock and roll show.
Well, what can I say, Joe? I love you. Christy would not so much, but I love you. Joe, play us a song while you have time.
I'm too lazy. I don't have it's not like I don't have any guitars in here, but I don't have anything to plug them into tonight. So tonight is a no deal. Deal or no deal?
Oh.
How are you, man, Al?
Okay. I love you. Bye.
Ciao. Ciao, baby. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. When was the last time we had that call, huh?
It has been a little while.
Yeah, I think I'm going to need this again. I just don't want any bad thoughts to go out, you know?
No bad thoughts.
No bad thoughts. No bad thoughts. I could just see that now. A drink. Yeah, my girlfriend's passed out, and this one's trying to play that game, right? I love it. It's not good. No, can't do. Sorry, Sandy. I won't let him do it. So we'll see what's happening. Well, we've still got time for a couple of more calls before we bring on Larry Fisher. So if you guys are out there, want to chit-chat? We're just joking around. It's not. Don't waste all our hormones on growing hair. Bald guys rule. Thanks, Jeff. Well, this is implants. When you play rock and roll, you got to have some implants. I'm keeping the 70s alive. They called and they want their hair back, I know. Hey, if you guys got anything you want to chit-chat about, give us a quick call. I'd love to hear from you, as it's been a while since we've had an open forum. So we got about 15 minutes, so give us a call in, man. Don't make me feel like I'm a lonely guy out here. 661-249-0455. Maybe. Big Rick, you want to give us a call? We'll chit-chat about the 350 and the days of Pomona that I saw you at. If you want to give us a chit-chat call and say, hey, what's happening?
And you're live with Joe Walla.
Hey, Joe, Jeff Deal.
Hey, Jeff, glad you called. I figured, I heard you weren't feeling too well, so I figured we got about a quick 15 minutes.
I just got a headache.
Well, that's always talking to me might make it worse. How are you, brother?
No, it's all good, man. I'm just running around. What are you doing?
Harassing people tonight, since I was just killing a few minutes. I was hoping you'd catch up and see what's going on. How's everything going? Yeah. I see you guys have been really kicking a little more butt this year. I'm seeing you moving up on the points and kicking ass. So what's going on?
I don't know. I don't know if we're kicking any butt. It's kind of like we've been getting our butt kicked, but we're trying. You know, we're doing some new things and got some help and stuff. So,
well, I'm hoping that you guys keep progression. I see you guys are teamed up with Mr. Palmer, and you guys are helping each other out on some of that.
Yeah, I mean, Scott and I have we've been best buddies forever, you know, and he keeps me out there a lot of times when I want to pack it up and go home, you know, so he the Laganas and all those people. We've been friends for a long time. It's just everybody's so busy. It's hard to help people, but we've gotten so far off of where we needed to be. They turned around and helped us, which has been a big help. You know, we just been, I don't know if we've been watching, but all our runs have been shut off runs, and it's not because anything's wrong. We're just testing, trying to get everything working together again, and it's gotten real close.
Right. Well, I'm glad to see that you guys are still persevering and still doing this, because I feel that these, it's important that you guys keep trying it and keep going after it, man, because I'm hoping that you guys kick some butt, and I'm always praying for a win for you guys.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We need to work on some things in our team, and which we are. And I just purchased a new car with some help from some of my sponsors, and with the Borman Steel and my paving services guy, and Fred Spell in Texas, and we've all moved forward and purchased a car from Cruise, and it's a slip tube car, and I haven't had one of those trick things, and either it's really going to screw us up or really help us a lot. And we got a new body, and we'll make a go at that. We're working on putting that together right now.
Awesome. What do you guys?
It's pretty awesome.
Are you guys hitting Indy? Is that next stop?
I don't think so. I gotta play catch up. We do that the West Coast swing, and then we did 6 races in a row with 1 week off before, and we come home and our world's in shambles every year. So we typically don't. I have, and I'd like to, but it just doesn't make sense sometimes. So, and there's a couple things I need to fix on the transporter that kind of went wrong at the end of the little trip we had here. So I just haven't. I don't think we'll be at Indy, even though I'd like to.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you guys run Indy or not. And I know the Western Swing takes a pretty good chunk out of everybody's time, and especially if you got another operation.
It takes summer. It takes your summer every year, but I'm all good with that. But then we do, right before that, we do like 5 or 6 in a row with that match race in Canada. So it's all, it's like we miss all of summer, and you know me, I complain about that a little bit. I got to get in the ocean, so got to get home.
I was going to hit you up. Yeah, I was going to ask you about if you've been doing any surfing, but I figured if you've been running for the last few weeks, probably not as much as you want.
No, last week was a big week around here to do some self-promotion and stuff, so it was a car week, with all the vintage cars and everything. So we went out and did a lot of handshaking and stuff and trying to get people to get involved with us. And so I haven't done much surfing, but I was just actually right before I called you, I was just watching the sunset surfing on Surfline in Santa Cruz, and I wish I was there right now because the waves are good.
I haven't. One of these days, I'm gonna have to get out there and do it. What did you guys have going on? The concourse, is that what you guys were checking on? In Laguna Seca had, I think.
Yeah. See, that's right in our town. Yeah, the concourse, the vintage car thing, and there's just car shows and parties and auctions, and I actually when I got back from Seattle, I flew. I drove straight home and turned the truck off, got on an airplane, went to Indy, met with Cruz, because I had a guy coming to the concourse that came by, the guy, Jim Glenn, and I remember Shady Glenn, funny car.
Oh, I remember Shady Glenn. Bitchin'
Yeah,
car.
so that guy,
Ray in the pink car.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so, we're friends and everything, so he was on his way bringing a 1932 Bugatti out here, and he said he'd stop by and pick that car up, so I flew over there, did the deal with Cruz, helped him load it up, and then got on a plane, and I was home Tuesday. And then he showed up with a car, we unloaded it, and then he had to go do all his stuff. So we went to some of the parties, to kind of hobnob around and at night after work. And so it was a full week. It started on like Tuesday, and it just finished on Sunday. So it was kind of hectic.
Yeah, I'd love to go to one of the concourses. Those would be pretty awesome. I love a lot of those old, like you said, the Bugattis, the Packards, the Auburns,
oh my God,
all
yeah.
these. I mean, I know I go every time I go up to Frisco. Yeah, every time I go to Frisco, I always try to go to Blackhawk up there and see some of the stuff they got going on.
Right. Yeah, this year they had a bunch of hot rod cover cars too. Like I forget the names of all of them, but a lot of them there was invited to Pebble Beach. So there was hot rods there this year and stuff like that too. So it was pretty cool.
Right, because it sounds like I think the guys did some funny car stuff out on the Florida concourse. I saw was a couple of months back. I saw that the
really?
some of the nostalgia guys. Yeah, I think Larry
cool.
Fisher actually had put something together with that concourse. That's kind of cool. I mean, Laguna Seca's right there, and the tracks are always cool to see some of those nostalgia, the Porsches and all the stuff that run out there. I become like an F1 fan lately, so I'm like
God, I love it.
Everything
I
in anything.
love F1.
I become a big fan of that now. It's like, okay, I could see it expanding onto F1 someday on the show, but
and then Sunday night, you'll dig this. My son invited us to go see the Rolling Stones in San Jose. That was unbelievable.
Oh, that would be what's the name of this tour? I forget what it was, but it looks like it's going to be a great show.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome though. We had really good seats, and they're I can't even believe how good they are. They're really good. It was awesome.
Yeah, they're all pushing 70s now. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I hope I can do that. I can do that when I'm
They're having fun. Yeah, for sure.
I
guess you can.
Hey, as long as the body stays, right?
Yeah, you just got to stay up on it, right? You just got to keep working it out and stuff.
Exactly. So how's Lisa? How's everything going with her?
Almost got a brand new nostalgia car together too for a sponsor friend of mine. It's the XL Drywall. He's got a brand new. He actually bought a car, but he didn't fit in. It was Del Worsham's old car, and so we just decided to build a new one, and that's almost done too. So we'll be at the Hot Rod reunion running his car also.
Oh, awesome!
That's coming up, right?
See you. Oh yeah, October, I think 25th, 26th, 27th, I believe. So yeah, we're going to be out there.
Yeah. Cool. Are you playing?
We're going to play Saturday night. We already got everything kind of set up to go. We got the stage from Sean Van Horn, and my buddy John Hale's going to help us out with some electric. We're going to call John Hale Electric for the night. So we're stoked.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. That'll be cool. Yeah, we'll be there this year.
Well, it'd be fun to see us, as always. We've been promoting a bunch of stuff while you guys, right before you called, been doing a bunch of Nitro A Go-Go stuff for Lisa on here and showing a bunch of the cool stuff that they got. And hopefully you can draw some extra items from us tonight from the show, and told everybody to go to Nitro A Go-Go and help Lisa out.
She does
there.
well with that. Yeah. You guys want to talk to her for a second?
Yeah, we'll chit-chat for a second. We got a couple of minutes. I'm glad you take the time, though.
Good talking to you. Sorry a little late on that deal, but I was just running around and trying to
all right, we'll do another show. We'll rain check this one.
Yeah.
We'll do it again. I always appreciate taking a couple of minutes. Thanks, Jeff.
Feel
better, brother.
Thanks for your time, man. Thanks for listening to my bullshit.
Always good to have you on, man.
All right, here you go.
All right.
Hey,
Lise.
Joe.
How
are you doing?
I saw your note.
Funny,
it was a little late. Yeah, we were taking some phone calls in between, so it was kind of fun to see what's happening with some of the fans. So it was perfect. And I was telling Jeff. Yeah, I was telling Jeff we were posting a bunch of Nitro A Go-Go stuff up, and where can you buy a Nitro A Go-Go T-shirt, men's 3X, Tom Rojak?
Wow.
See?
Well, they can message me through Facebook itself, just through my name, Lisa Deal, or they can go on my website, and I have some stuff on there as far as a few things of clothing, but they can always message me through the website too, like email me, and the website is nitroagogodesigns.com. So
there you go.
That's probably the best. Yeah, one of the best ways they can do it. But yeah,
right.
So, and I do have shirts for ladies and men. So, yeah.
I might have to get one of them too, so that way I can be on and steal some of those boots. Steal some of your boots, so that way when I'm playing rock and roll, I can be Gene Simmons.
All right. Right on. That's
You have to
awesome.
go, I have to take it downhill somewhere. You know that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always glad that you guys take a couple of minutes to chit chat. And so, what's going on with
Thank you so
the
much for
business?
having us.
Always. How's Nitro
Right
Go
on.
Go?
It's doing really well. Since I've been home, I've been super crazy busy. We were gone for probably, it looked like a month and a half or so, and I had to jam home and get to work, and get my orders filled and everything. But business is doing really well, and my customers are the best, and they're all so creative, and they just stoke me out all the time with their creativity, and they keep me going, and it's pretty awesome. I have some new stuff that's coming out this fall, which I'm really excited about, and so yeah.
Sweet. I'm gonna get you some how you say do re mi pretty soon to get one for my lady out here. So I love the funny car ones that you got with the stars and stripes. So I saw a couple with the big stars on them. Maybe something cool like that with the red, white, and blue big stars or something. But she's listening, so I don't want her to know exactly what I'm buying her. So
okay, that's just between us, right?
Yeah, it's a secret. It's a secret.
Right on. It's a secret. Yep.
It's a secret.
Yeah. Right on.
While we're
that style. Huh. Go ahead.
Right. Go ahead. I was going to say, while we're chit chatting, a lot of the guys out there, you do helmet bags for the guys. So.
Yes. Yep.
Go ahead. What you were saying about the style before I rudely interrupted you.
So no, you're good. So yeah, the helmets they're called McQueen, and I can do them, from the smaller sizes, like kids, all the way up to a nitro size, accommodating helmet. And you can do whatever you want, have whatever you want put on it. You can put your, a brand from one of your sponsors. You can put your team logo on it. You can put your name. You can do all kinds of crazy graphics. I do a lot of embroidery, so you can have your stuff embroidered on it and everything, or you could do patches or whatever. Yeah, so it's and you do it in your colors that match your, your race car or your race bike or whatever. And they're a lot of fun. People really seem to dig them, so.
Yeah, they're showing all the colors and all the stuff that you got on your site right now. That's what Chris is running for you, showing some. I just saw that you did one for Maroney Racing, so that was pretty cool.
Oh,
That's why to put a plug in for the guys that usually, because we got more guys sometimes than the girls on the show, so I just would love to help them guys get something cool for your lady and get something cool for your racing bag.
There you go. Gotta make it even for everybody. Yep.
Yeah, there we go. The McQueen bags, they're already up. So that way you guys out there know.
Yep.
That's cool. Mopar
That's
and the
cool.
Papa John's for.
Yep.
Nice.
That was for Leah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those came out really cool.
Figured. Is that the both sides of it? Is that the one for Hagen? No, it doesn't look like Hagen with the tiger in it.
Yeah, no. No.
Oh, it's way cool. I don't need a purse. No, you can, Dom, get it for your ladies. I know you got to have about 10 ladies out there, Dom, so pass them off for Christmas presents. Just trying to help us out. Well, I know we didn't get a whole lot of time to chit-chat tonight. I know that time kind of was running. I didn't catch it late enough, but let's do definitely. I definitely would love to rain check. So we'll do one toward the end of the season. What do you say? Does that work for you?
Yeah,
when
perfect.
the season's about done?
Yeah, that's totally perfect. Yep, sounds good.
Well, I appreciate you both. Yeah, I appreciate you both taking a couple of minutes. And Lisa Deal and Jeff Deal, we always wish you guys the best. Tell Jeff to get rid of that headache and go take the board and go out and do a couple of big waves right now, right?
I will. Yeah, he needs to get out in the water. His gills are drying out, as he says.
I remember that when I used to surf all the time, and it was like, I got to go on a daily basis. I'd put on a motorcycle, a 6-foot board or an 8-foot board on the back of the motorcycle strap.
Oh, yeah.
Not smart. Not smart, but I want to talk to him about doing the ocean liner again, how that went. And next time we get the chance. Because he said he was doing it with the tanker out there in Houston. But Awesome, Lise.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you took a couple
Right
of minutes
on.
and called in. So we'll definitely
thank you
rain
so much
check
for having us. We appreciate it. Mm-hmm.
No problem. We'll catch up, and I wish you guys the best for the rest of the
Okay.
season. And I'll see you in Pomona, or I'll
Okay.
see you at the Hot Rod reunion. We'll definitely see you
Sounds good. All right. Thanks to all your
Awesome.
guys, too, and everybody listening. Take care.
there. You got it. Nitro a Go-Go and the Surfer. There you go.
Yay.
Lisa and Jeff Deal. Thanks a lot, you guys. Much love to you.
Right on. Okay, thanks. Back
Right
to you.
on. See you soon.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wasn't a big interview, but it was just enough to get through. So thank you guys so much for calling in, and I'm glad you got a few minutes. And we got a few callers in it. And then in a couple of minutes, we got Mr. Fisher calling in. So it could be a minute or two or three or less. So hopefully everything's working well. And catch up with Larry and the NHRE Museum. What's going on? What's happening? So you guys definitely, Christmas is coming up. I hate to say it. You'll be here faster than you know. Want to get something cool for your ladies, or get something cool for yourself, like a cool wallet, go to nitrogogo.com or nitrogogodesigns.com. You'll find it anyway. See what's going on. Big shout out one more time to all our sponsors tonight while we got a minute. Thanks to Stiff Printing. Hey, I didn't get a chance, but here, I'll do it again. Hey, you're live. What's happening?
Hey, Joe, it's Larry.
Hey, Larry, how are you? How's life treating you, brother?
Oh, a lot better today.
Welcome aboard, Mr. Larry Fisher from the NHRA Museum and the Heritage Series out there. Just joining us in. You know, we had Larry. I had Randy Wall on. Randy Walls on a couple of half an hour ago. So it was great to know that he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. We had his funny car down at Bowling Green, and I understand he's going to go to the U.S. Nationals and take the car there to show it. So
right,
nice guy, super nice guy. It was really just an honor to meet him and to be able to have him as part of our group down in Bowling Green.
Yeah, he had some great stories, and I know that I had him extend the interview, and it still isn't enough time to get all these stories together. But I'm definitely going to have him back on. It's great to have these guys that have paved the way and pioneered our sport. So I've been trying to get as many of those guys on board as we can. So, amen. We got to preserve
absolutely.
it somehow.
That's it. And that's what makes the reunions so awesome. Is every year, every reunion, to hear these guys' stories and to talk to them, and it's not just about the honoree reception. It's also just they're there. I mean, they stay for the whole reunion and hang out, and where else do you get that chance to talk to them and hear all this just cool stuff? And that's one of the nice things about being at the museum is, yesterday we were having a little meeting in advance of having Craig Breedlove at the museum on Saturday, and three of his old crew members were there, and we got off on those guys bench racing and telling us stories, and Greg and I were just sitting there enjoying it, and then Wayne joined us, and an hour later we're like, oh, well, so much for the meeting. The stories were the best part. So I'm looking forward to Craig and his guys being there Saturday, because he was a hero to me when I was a kid, and just a larger-than-life guy. So it'll be a lot of fun to have that event.
Are they bringing out some of the cars for display, or you have a couple on display there already?
No. Most of Craig's cars are gone. The Spirit of America was at the Chicago Museum of Science and Industry, and now it's in Craig's shop, waiting to be restored. He's going to restore the Spirit, and then he's as part of the presentation on Saturday, he's going to show us some images of the new car and the new Sonic, and talk about they want to do it again. They want to go for another record attempt. So and we've got some great pictures that they've dug out So we'll have a cool slideshow of some really great historic images all the way back to when Craig was 19 years old and racing his 34 Ford. And I just think it's going to be a cool evening. So it's not to be missed. It's Saturday night at the museum. There's a reception first for our members, and then for everybody. That starts at 6, and then at 7 will be the presentation. So, and then afterwards, he's going to be signing his new book. So he's got a new book out by Samuel Hawley called Ultimate Speed. And there's not a lot of guys that can claim that title, but he can.
Oh yeah, I remember. It was always between, what was it? Breedlove and Gary Gablage. The Blue Flame and the Spirit of America were the two cars that they always talked about when we were growing up. I remember that.
Oh yeah, well, and Art Arfons with the Green Monster. Yeah.
Oh, true.
But those
Altique.
The 60s, yeah. But that time period, it was just back and forth. Those guys,
right?
They were beating each other, every time you turn around. And Craig was the first to 400, first to 500, first to 600. That's pretty damn impressive.
600 is scary in itself. Think about that one, right?
I can't even imagine. I just can't even imagine it. Pretty amazing. So,
have you experienced the salt flats yourself? I've never been there, so I don't know. I got to do it one day.
I went. You really got to go. I went years ago. Good friend of mine and I, in his '67 Cougar, which was a real POS, but we drove all the way out there, and it was just, we'd heard about it, and it's like, oh no, we got to go. And I remember we went out there, and everybody warned us, but we were stupid, and ended up with sunburns on the bottoms of our chins, and on the inside of your arms, and salt everywhere.
Yeah,
but
the salt, exactly.
It's just, the car was covered with salt, but it's so hard to describe it. I mean, people had told us about it, and then when you get there, just the sheer scale of the thing is unbelievable. And then, it's just the pace of Bonneville is so different. Guys just roll up and they wait, and then you hear we had our AM radio tuned in, and you hear them, down the course, mile 1, and they all clear, mile 2, all clear, and they do that all the way down the course. And finally they run a car, and you hear it coming, because we were, way back. They didn't let you get up close as a spectator.
Right.
And that sound was just unbelievable. You hear it coming, and then you see this little black dot, and wow, and it just goes by and disappears again, and then you hear over the radio, okay, all clear, it just, but it was fascinating, and it was so cool that there were so many different cars and different bikes, and it's a phenomenon I don't think is duplicated anywhere, and it's the last true amateur form, I think, of auto racing. I mean, there's no prize money, there's no big bucket at the end full of cash. It's just racing
just bragging
to be the fastest guy and bragging rights. Yeah, and there's something for everybody. It's cool. I mean, I was talking to a guy who's in his 80s. And he went to Bonneville a couple of years ago, and he took his Ducati. Well, first of all, a guy in his 80s who rides a Ducati, he's a little crazy. But he took his Ducati out there, and he said, yeah, I went 132 miles an hour on my Ducati. It was really cool. And then I took my wife on the back, and we went 120 something. I'm like, oh my God. That's awesome. Just awesome.
Yeah, it's I don't know if I'd have somebody in the back of the bike doing, that kind of speed, but you never know.
I wouldn't even do it on the freeway, but yeah. But I've had my wife on the back of the BMW. Never that fast.
Right.
Never done the ton with my wife on the back.
No, I've already lived it. I've already done my stupidity on motorcycles, so I'm kind of done splitting lanes with about 20, 30 guys. Yeah. at 100+ miles an
Yeah.
hour with a bunch of crazy guys. Nah, and you're
No,
trying to go move up
no,
on the line all the time.
Yeah, nah, it's not.
Stupidity.
You know, I grew up out here, and it was Mulholland for me. It's always up to Mulholland, out to the rock store, and
Right.
And yeah, I ate some weeds a few times, and you learn the hard way. Fortunately, I was able to walk away, but yeah, we're too old for that crap now.
Yeah, I know. I got I got nice pearly whites now because because of my biking experience. I'm like, I got airlifted. I go, that's good. That's 8. Somebody said to me the other day I was kind of a wuss because I didn't get back on the bike. I go, number 8 downs. Number 9 means you're dead. I go, that's a clear thought. I go, I've already been down 8 times on a motorcycle in about 40 years. So I go, number 9 means
that's
sober.
enough.
So I'll stick to playing rock and roll, and maybe if I get lucky somewhere, I can get in a race car and actually try it one day. I'm still have that desire to buy a car and go down the track.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is alluring. I mean, I love, at our reunions and at the races. And I was up at Sonoma a few weeks ago, and I just had to take some time and just sit by the side of the track, and watch the cars go by, because it doesn't matter if it's Top Fuel or Sportsman B-Gas guy or whatever it is. It's just bitching. It's so cool to watch and to hear, and yeah. I mean, I did a little bit of the bracket thing years and years and years ago at Orange County.
Right.
They used to run with you night on Wednesday night, and I thought, oh yeah, I'm hot shit. I got a hopped up mini truck, but but yeah, I don't know. Being behind the wheel is something that fast. It accelerates like that. It's got to be a pretty amazing experience.
And now that we're talking about some all the classes and stuff like that. What's new on the horizon for NHRA and NHRA Museum? Anything that you guys are doing that could be possibly for preserving the sport even more, or keeping the youth involved? Anything like that on the horizon?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, there's a few things. Obviously we're doing our programs. And I mentioned the Craig Breedlove thing, which I've been really looking forward to on Saturday.
Right.
And then, but there's a couple things that we've been working on, and that's one of the reasons I was at Sonoma, is we've been working with some of the racers and team owners, and they're super supportive of the museum, and they've always wanted it to succeed. And so we've started kind of a new initiative of several things to really upgrade the museum. And one of the things we're working on is digitizing a lot of the content we have related to every car in the collection. And we've been working on this for a couple of years behind the scenes, just cleaning up our collection stuff. But, Greg has put together so much stuff, photographs and video and film and information. And the goal is to put a digital interactive sign in place of the existing plaques for every car. And
nice.
That way our visitors can, if you want to see the car run, you can bring up video, or you can look at photographs. You want to find out more about the drivers, want to find out about the owners of the team. You'd be able to drill down to that information and pull it up out of the archives, which our visitors don't have the access to that kind of material yet. So that's one of the things that's on our plate. And we just got a donation today, and from another gentleman that we had spoken to. And so we're really excited because that's starting to come together. The other thing related to kids, the NHRA has had the YES program for years. Actually, I think it's in its 27th year.
Right.
And the YES program, for those who don't know, the YES program is a program where primarily high school and high school graduates in trade schools or, community college, that sort of thing, they can come with their teachers to an NHRA drag race. They do about 15 of the programs a year at national events around the country. It was something that Wally started. And it just creates an opportunity for those kids to come out to the track. They get to meet drivers, team owners, other people associated with the sport. They get a nice presentation about the different kinds of careers in motorsports. You know, a lot of kids don't realize that there's careers for chefs, you know, for truck drivers, for mechanics, for body guys, for, you know, graphic designers, for marketing people, all these different careers. And it exposes them to that. And then they get a day at the races. And it's always been a great program. But one thing about it is that when it's over that day, it's over. And they go back to the classroom,
Right.
and there's really nothing to kind of close the loop. So starting a little over a year ago, we started talking to some people in the sport about how can we take those kids that come out of the S program totally charged up, wanting to get a career in motorsports somehow. And, you know, they're out there. We just need to pick them up. And
Right.
and how do we take those kids by the hand and say, hey, there's a path for you. You want to get a job on a team, you want to get a job at a track, you want to get involved somehow, there's a path. It may involve some additional training. It may be a startup position in a job somewhere. Anyway, the bottom line is we're making an official announcement at the Winter Nationals in 2020, and there's going to be a new program that does just that. And it's going to open the door for the young people that are really interested. And the museum is the primary sponsor of the program, and we already have some funding lining up, and we've got some people that are really dedicated. And so by the time we get to the Winter Nationals, we'll be able to roll it out, start it up, and we're just really hoping to create that pathway to jobs and to job opportunities for young people who want to get into the sport. And yeah, it's just really exciting. And it's something I've been very immersed in, and so has a lot of other people. And we're also partnering with NHRA in order to link it up with the YES program. So it's a really exciting opportunity.
It sounds like it's going to be really cool because, you know, I know we chit chat back and forth over the year, and I'm always thinking, how do we get these kids involved in the sport and save this the future of the sport? Because a lot of kids today, I mean, they're all stuck on their damn phones all day long, and they don't get out to racetracks. They don't get an opportunity to see it. And when so many racetracks seem to be folding these days, it's hard to get them to see this. If they experience it, then the excitement would be there. And
right, and you hit the nail on the head too. Is the excitement part of it, and that's where the YES program has been great to get them excited, but then not carrying it all the way through. So that's what's cool about this, is to keep that energy going. It'll be highly personalized for each individual kid that signs up, and you know, and to get them off the phone. I mean, we're building it in such a way that actually being on the phone is going to be part of it. But to get them off the phone and get them focused into some measurable form of success, you know. And I mean, hey, a lot of guys, I was talking to some guys just yesterday again, you know, he's had a lifetime in motorsports, and the way he got started was he was at an event, and some of the guys on a racing team started sweeping sawdust up off the floor, and he grabbed a broom and he just started helping. And the guy says, hey, kid, you know, you want to do that some more? We'll take you along on the next thing we do and the next gig. And then he became the truck driver for the team, and then he got a CDL, and then he moved his way all the way up, and he spent his entire career in motorsports. And that's exactly what we need to do for these kids. Just give them a little bit of a leg up, and that goes a long way. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
let them know they're wanted. It's you know,
and you know, I try to get kids on the show. You know, I do it every 3 months. I try to get all night with the junior dragsters or junior racers, because we've had a sprint car girl, we've had a bunch of junior dragster drivers on the show, and we've been pretty lucky to have one of my buddies at Enumclaw's Cascade Automotive. He's sent packages off to the kids to get them even more excited with like T-shirts, tools, all kinds of cool stuff to keep them excited and get their thoughts going into the big show down the road. And that's one of the things that is definitely important to preserve on the way going forward for us, because I love all the history of the sport, but to keep the history alive and then make new history for all the new people coming up and get them definitely interested in drag racing or racing in general. But to keep this sport alive is one of the things.
And I think that's another really good point. You know, it doesn't have to be drag racing. All we want to do is ignite a spark and hopefully put them on a path to, you know, their passion, whatever that is.
Exactly.
There's too many young people today who are not working their passion. They don't see a path. They don't see a way out, and they end up in dead-end jobs or doing something they don't want to do. And, you know, that's not the way to live your life. And if you can do something where when you go to work every day, you're like charged up and I'm doing what I love, I'm doing what I feel good about, you know, all the rest of that stuff comes. All the success and everything else will come. But you got to be happy with what you're doing. And, you know, so if we can help these kids do that, then we've really done a great thing. Yeah, that's and having the museum, you know, to your point, having the museum and doing the programs that we do and doing the hot rod reunions, you got to know where you came from to know where you're going. And so if we can link those pieces together and get kids excited by doing those things, coming to the museum or going to a reunion or whatever it is, or going to a Heritage Series race, going to a junior dragster race, then, you know, you get them excited with that. All the rest is magic. It'll happen.
Oh yeah, because I see when we talk to the kids on the show how excited they are talking about their sponsors. They're almost like pros already. They're talking, I'd like to thank all my sponsors. I'm like, how cool is this? You know, it's kind of exciting to see they're all getting into it, and you know, it's just picking and choosing, and God willing, we can put them in the right direction. Because, you know, a couple of guys that hit me up about doing this Legends of Speed documentary, and we definitely would like to, you know, cover all those bases, from the guys who started to the legends to the new guys that are the new heroes and the up and comers that are coming up, and we want to cover all four aspects of that in this documentary. I was going to ask you if you ever get some time on a Saturday or something, I can bring my guys out. We'd love to do an interview with you and shoot the museum if you're open to that.
Absolutely. Greg and I would be happy to do that. And, you know, you got to talk to Alex Exvidius too. And if you guys haven't had that chance, you got to talk to Alex. I mean, he was there in 1949 at Bonneville, the first one. You know, he created SoCal Speed Shop. He's the second guy in the world to go over 200 miles an hour at Bonneville. He's a legend. And what's cool is he wrote, filmed, directed, edited, everything. The film, The Hot Rod Story, in the early 60s. And he captured it all. And that movie, if your audience, if they haven't seen it, go on Amazon Prime, download the damn movie and watch it, because it is the best history of the sport of hot rodding. It's still relevant today, and it's just awesome. It's a whole story of where we came from, and you know, it's The Hot Rod Story by Alex Exvidius. And
perfect.
I was on a conference call this morning with the Henry Ford Museum. Greg and I were on the phone with the Henry Ford. They're doing an exhibit on racing. And they called us, and we were giving them some pointers and stuff. And I worked for the Henry Ford Museum off and on for the last couple decades, and they're good friends. So it was a great conversation. But one of the things in that conversation was, we said, you have to watch The Hot Rod Story. You got to see this movie. It's amazing, and it's just super cool. And Alex is a great guy. So he'd be a good guy for you guys to talk to too, for your Legends of Speed.
Definitely.
He's a legend.
That's why I would love to come and chat with you and talk a little bit about the history of the museum and what's all that's relevant, that's important for the future of preserving the sport. So that's why I think it would be tie it all in and just kind of seeing what's out there. I mean, it's kind of weird because we started the show as kind of a me and Chris were talking one day, hey, you want to do a show about rock and roll? And I go, I love drag racing. And who knew that it would blow up to where it's blowing up today? And I just want to keep trying to contribute to the history of what we got. We've had some very important people on the sport on this show. So, from guys that we just had John Peters on and Herm Peterson and all those guys. So it's great to have these guys tell their stories a little bit and share it because, like you said, these are going to be gone. These guys aren't going to be around much longer. And the thing is that we need to cherish and try to preserve their stories. And good, bad, or indifferent, the stories need to be told,
Yeah, yeah. Well, we were talking earlier about the hot rod reunions and the honorees and like Randy Walls. And I was sitting with Greg and we were talking about the honorees, and we were starting to realize how many of our honorees are second and third generation, and in some cases we've honored both the father and the son.
Nice.
And it's really cool. I mean, it's looking back on, it's a long list, 28 years, and it's amazing. And even like this year, Mike Cook is one of our honorees. And his dad, Doug Cook, of course, was Stonewoods and Cook, and his grandfather was a racer, and and Mike's son is a racer. It's that generation to generation connection. It's really cool in the sport and in hot rodding in general.
Right.
And we have a great suite of people. I hope everybody who's listening is coming to the reunion. But because we've got a great group this year. Our Grand Marshal is Jerry Ruth, and among other things, as Greg was filling me in, that Jerry's the only guy who 3 times in a row won both funny car and dragster at the same event.
Nice.
Think about that.
I know.
Yeah, it's stunning. And we got Harry Burkholder,
right,
who's an honoree, and I mentioned Mike, and then Bill Dunlap, up from Northern California, another honoree,
right,
and Phil Mandela, the engine builder, and Gary Southern. He's going to be an honoree as well. So that's a great group. I can't wait for the event, on Friday, and Bob Fry will come and MC, and he always does an awesome job and pulls out some great obscure stuff that we don't think about. But they're all going to be up there. They're all honorees, and of course, Jerry's the Grand Marshal. That would be really cool.
Right.
And it's just you've been there. I mean, all these guys are there, all these legendary guys and gals, and it's just cool. My very first reunion, I stepped out of the tent, I turned the corner, and there was Ed Pink, and a hero,
nice,
of mine. And I was just stunned. I was like, "Oh my God, it's Ed Pink!"
Yeah, it's like seeing Iski walking by, or
yeah, exactly. And Greg said, "You just experienced it. That's what it's about. That you can just turn the corner, and there's Ed. You get a chance to talk to him, and yeah, it was very, very cool. When you get to work and meet your heroes, that's pretty neat stuff. So
that's one of the cool things.
To the reunion.
Yeah, we've been plugging it.
Cool things about the reunion. Yeah,
we've been plugging it up again.
Sonoma, I was up in Sonoma, and there were a bunch of the guys from the Throttle Merchants up there, and they were telling me that their club, they've got 21 cackle cars from their club, just out of their club coming. So
wow, that should be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's interesting because when I talk to some of these guys that go and see some of the cackle cars, they're like, it's just cackling. It's not a drag race, but they forget that these cars were history in the making. Some of these cars, yeah, they don't run anymore, but they had a place in history, and it still needs to be preserved. And yes, it still needs to be cherished and honored as it was.
Yeah. Well, and just being able to walk through the pits and talk to the guys. A lot of them are there with their cars. And unfortunately, there's some younger guys in the sport who've come up and have found these cars and restored them, and made it possible for these guys to be there and to have the car with them. As neat as at Sonoma, because it's not my race, I get to relax.
Right.
And and it was really nice to hang out in the garages and just talk to people, and and just hang and listen to stories. Something, unfortunately, I usually don't have time to do during the reunion because I'm running around like crazy. But it is taking the time to enjoy it, to step back, to listen. It's cool because with the reunions, you get both. You get the racing and you get the classic cars and the restored cars, and our memory lane guys. And it's a 3-ring circus of stuff. But to take the time and just kind of relax and step back a minute and soak it all in is really cool.
Oh yeah, it's definitely way cool to see all this stuff, and like you said, to sit and talk. And I know Sonoma, I missed Sonoma this year, and I always go to Sonoma, but I always loved walking through the what do they call the NASCAR garages where all the nostalgia guys are, and that's always cool. The only thing I didn't like about Sonoma, and I gotta say it, was the general admission seat. So if you ever buy a general admission seat, don't save your money, go sit in the tower. That's the only thing that was bad about Sonoma.
Yeah. It's a road course and a drag strip, and so
exactly. But general admission is not.
You can
the
be
place
good
to
at one
sit.
thing, but it's hard to be good at everything. Yeah,
that's true.
But
it is a beautiful.
We were talking about generations. John Pecora has arranged that vintage drag display in the garages for years, and this year he handed it off to his daughter Sabrina. She did a great job. Yeah.
Nice.
And some of you out there probably know, she drives an Altered, and she's a pretty good driver.
Yeah, we've had her on the show a while back.
Yeah, and she's a real fan of the history, and it was cool to see John kind of step back and be the proud papa, and and she set the whole thing up and coordinated it all. It was really neat. It was fun to go up and visit and see that. So so we got a lot on our plate, and the fair around the corner, so that's happening. We got some new cars on display as well.
Right.
This year's Amber Award winner, the Eddie Dye Roadster, that's going to be at the museum for a while now. So you want to come by and check it out up close. I think it's an amazing car, just gorgeous. So that's happening. And Dave Shutton from Galpin Motorsports, he's putting a panel of designer builders together, and we're going to have a panel program during the Grand National Roadster Show. So that's coming up too.
Right.
A few other things cooking. So, so keep an eye on the
I love
website
the Grand
and
National.
on our social media.
For sure.
Yeah, Grand National Roadster
And they
Show
can,
is cool.
Everybody can find out all information on what's your website. It's NHRA Heritage Museum, or is it just NHRAmuseum.com?
It's NHRAmuseum.org. But if you put NHRA Museum in, it'll come up.
Right.
Thanks to Google, we got a grant from Google to start improving our internet presence, so we're happy about that. And Facebook too. We're trying to be a lot more active on the Facebook stream, and if you're not getting our newsletters, we now have an e-newsletter out, and that comes out fairly frequently, and it'll have announcements about what's coming up. So if you're not getting it, send us your email. Send me an email. We'll put you on, and those will go out too. We have a new staff member, Gretchen, who's terrific, and she's on top of all this kind of stuff, and she's just become a really great member of the team. So we're happy to have her on board too.
Awesome.
That'll
Awesome.
help with the communications. Yeah. So a lot going on.
Well, that's awesome. Anything else exciting happening with you yourself? I always see all the train stuff that you got posted. We had a couple of pictures I ran through. You know, I got to always throw the train in there, buddy, because I know you love the trains. Anything exciting happening with any of that? I got to throw it out there. It makes us a little more personal.
Yeah. Not much. I haven't spent a lot of time in the shop lately. My mom had a heart valve replacement. I was scheduled on your show the day she had it. And it didn't go so well. The heart valve part went well, but the recovery didn't go so well. So she's fighting a good fight. And actually today was the first day she sat up on the edge of the bed. And so we're, just my sister and I are keeping, a watch and making sure everything goes well. But when the weather cools down, I'll probably get back out in the shop, and that's my way of relaxing. It's to stand at the lathe or the mill and make a bunch of chips.
Right. Oh, I was up in Frisco, and there was it made me think about you, because I know you have the mini trains and stuff, and there was some place in Frisco outside, I think Concord it was, that has a little not Concord, but I'm not sure what's the town going in toward Oakland, that had a
Tilden,
special.
Yeah, Tilden Park.
You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. That's the place.
I've run my locomotive there, so it's not unlike hauling a race car around. You take a 1,300-pound steam locomotive and haul it off to another track for fun. And some of you guys who know the folks out at the reunions and follow the Heritage Series, you probably know David Layton. David's been around forever. His mom used to be very involved, and he lives out in Ridgecrest. And 2 doors down from him is one of my best friends, who's a steam railroad guy and has a railroad around his house. And I didn't know that. And I went out to see my friend George and drive trains, one weekend, and David walks up behind me with his grandkids, and he was like, "Hey, Larry!" And I turned. You know how when you see somebody but not in the place you know them from? It was the weirdest thing. But so he and his grandkids have ridden on the train. So, and
nice.
Fortunately, all of them came through the earthquake out there okay. So, we'll probably go up there. Yeah, this fall we usually go up and hang out and roast a pig in an underground pit and play with trains for a couple days. So
yeah, we might be out there at the same time. We're playing a show right before we come out to the reunion, so we'll be out the week before.
Oh, really?
Out in Ridgecrest. Yeah. Somebody typed in a question for you. Said, "Have you ever been caught in a coal car?"
Well, most of my locomotives burn coal. We like to say burning rocks, and
right.
Yeah. So, and I'm really lucky that my wife puts up with me coming home all covered with coal dust and my clothes covered with it too. But she's a big fan. So.
Well, that's always good. I mean, I think it's kind of a kick, and I think I told you the story before. I used to hang draperies when I was younger, and I was doing a house, and I didn't realize that I was in Abbott, but I think it was who's the heavier guy, Lou Costello, right? Abbott and Costello.
Yeah.
And I'm in the house hanging Yeah, he had railroads running through the whole house. I'm like, I couldn't even believe that was his house at one time, and I go, it's track running through the house, inside the house. I go, how cool was that? So I remember that certain things stay in your head,
You'd be surprised how many people are in drag racing and in hot rodding,
right?
That are in the hobby of building steam locomotives. Larry John Garius, who I've known since I was a teenager,
Right.
and is a brilliant machinist and fabricator, and he builds steam locomotives as a hobby. But back in the 50s and 60s, Larry and his brother built dragster chassis, and they campaigned and altered, and it's a small world. And I mentioned to Greg one day, we were sitting talking, I said, I was talking to my friend Larry John Garius, and he goes, wait a minute, Larry John Garius. He goes back to it, and so he says, I got something I got to show you. Anyway, next day, Greg comes in with an 8x10 photograph, and it was Larry John Garius and his brother and their racing team. And he made me a copy, and I took it out to the railroad, and I gave it to Larry. And it was just really cool to make that full circle connection,
Awesome.
And it happens a lot. And there's a custom painter up in the Bay Area who, very accomplished pinstriper painter, and he's a live steam guy, and the list goes on. I mean, it's funny, but I've been surprised now in my role at the museum how many guys I make that connection with. And another one is Jim Leggett, who's from Canada, but very accomplished photographer. He shoots a lot of Bonneville, really great pictures. His daughter is a photographer as well, and Jim's family goes back 4 generations building steam locomotives as a hobby. And,
Nice.
and yeah, so there's something there about machinery, that's what it's about. I mean, building engines, whether it's a steam locomotive or a top fuel motor or, your hot rod, making things with your hands, building things yourself, and seeing the end result. That, I built a boat years ago. It's just all kind of the same thing,
Right.
And it's one of the things that we're really trying to encourage through the museum is that hands-on ethic and building things for yourself. And, it's important we pass that along, especially because the schools don't do it anymore.
No, and the
it's
kids,
important that we show them.
I know, and it's kind of scary, I love some of the comments that everybody's popping up. I see that. I know. I sent a note. I think it's Gary, right? To get Jerry Glenn into the Hall of Fame. I go, well, they're all posting it up tonight. See if you can make it happen, Larry.
Yeah.
Well, we started a petition for him one time.
There's 2 lists that we keep, and they're both really important. One is a list of people who deserve to be honored, and it's quite a list. And
right,
I trust Greg and the selection committee to make those hard choices, because it's hard. It's really
Right.
hard. There's so many deserving people. And the other list is the Twilight Memorial, the number of people who passed away, and
man,
every time a name gets added to that list, Greg will come tell me, or I'll tell Greg, somebody will call us up. Bill Donor passed away last weekend.
I know that was rough.
Yeah,
that was
what a
pretty
surprise, Yeah, and just a cool guy, and another one that I just feel honored that I had a chance to know him for a little while, and certainly impacted my life without me knowing it. Growing up and going to Orange County and all that. But yeah, so it's tough. And the one list we can celebrate, and hopefully we get everybody honored that deserves it, and the other list we celebrate that too, and celebrate their lives and all their contributions, and that one we can't control. So
right,
yeah, there's a lot of deserving people, definitely.
Oh, there's so many
I think
legends.
Everyone that is an honoree this year, and Grand Marshal, I know personally, I've seen letters from people to Greg, saying, oh, this person deserves it, this person deserves it. And that's what I tell people all the time. I said, let the selection committee know. You can always send a note or an email to Greg, and they read it. all the members of the committee, they read those notes when they consider the ballot every year, and it makes a difference. So,
well, he sent me a note back saying that, not a problem. We'd love to get him on, and I go, I just everybody was saying because I had Bill and Jerry here at the show one night, and we were chit chatting, and Bill was in the Hall of Fame, and I know Bill's done some incredible things, and I know that Jerry was an amazing driver as well. So, like you said, you can't put everybody in. Hopefully, you can get in before no twilight numbers. I mean, like you said, it's there's like you said, there's way too many people out there that have paved the pathway, have done some cool stuff, and however it works, it works itself. But we always try to wish the best for all the buddies, and if we can help somebody, hey, God bless us, we help you. And if not, well, what can we do, right? It's
well, we keep trying. But we try as best we can, and that's all we can ask of anybody, I think.
Well, we do the best we can every day.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But well, I'm glad we got a few minutes to chit chat tonight, man. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you, Larry. And I always enjoy our conversations, and I always enjoy the friendship that we've grown on in the last few years. And hopefully, I look forward to entertaining the troops again this year. If that's still cool with you guys, I'd love to make sure that happens.
Oh yeah, no, we're planning on it and looking forward to it, and glad you're going to be able to make it. And it's fun for the fans, and it's a way to kind of just hang out and chill out for the evening afterwards. And so I appreciate you guys coming out. It's really nice of you to take the effort to do that and to entertain everybody, and we appreciate it very much.
Yeah, no, I always love to come out there because I've been telling you from day one. I always want to give back to the guys who put on the great show for us every reunion or every show that we get a chance to play at the track, and it's kind of like for those fellas who are sequestered at the track all night after they've been working hard, and they get a little bit of time to relax and enjoy a few moments of no pressure, So that's one of the main reasons why we've always done it, and the fans are a bonus part on that one. So we always tell the fans, stick around if you don't. But you're sitting in the stand all day long. I got it. I mean, we're at the track at 8:00 in the morning too, and I'm watching as much racing as I can and talking to everybody. But at 9:00 when it's on, we're going. I'm going. I'm still wired.
Yeah. Well, and even like the last year, I remember I was just dog tired, and I was sitting, having a couple Cokes and a hot dog, and you guys were playing kind of in the background from where I was, and
right.
It was cool because it just was. The music is there, and just because you're not standing right in front of the stage doesn't mean you're not able to enjoy it. So I know there's a lot of people listening when you're out there, and I'm sure that they appreciate it and enjoy it. So
we had a blast, and I remember you coming up and shaking my hand somewhere in the middle of the set, and I thought that was way cool. So I always look forward to doing this, and anytime that we can help you or the museum, any info that you can send us, we can post on the show, like the YES program and all those new programs, and anything that we can help share each other's info. I'd love to help you guys out where I can.
Okay. We will do that. I've got your email now. Programmed in my phone. I'm guilty, and I will take you up on it.
Well, perfect, Larry.
All right.
Well, I hope mom gets to a full recovery, and we pray for her recovery for you. And God willing, she's up and running around, and you can get back to relaxing and getting all the NHRA affairs for the museum in order. And God bless you, brother. I always appreciate you on the show, man. Thanks for taking time tonight.
Well, thank you, and we'll see you. If we don't see you before then, we'll see you definitely at the reunion.
For sure, but I definitely want. I'll shoot you an email and let me know what Saturdays that you're down at the museum, and we can come on down and do a quick little piece with you in the morning or something like that.
Yeah, let's do that. Well, the LA County Fair is going to be happening here soon. So
Right,
maybe
and
that
that's gonna
weekend
be
following
most of
the fair, we
September.
can do some.
All right,
Yeah,
you let me know what works.
But, all right, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Well, Larry, thanks for sharing some stories about the trains and what's new in NHRA Museum. Thank you, brother. We always appreciate you, man, and I look forward to seeing you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Joe. Have a good night.
All right, Larry. Have a great night. Mr. Larry Fisher, everybody, NHRA Museum. Right on. Well, thanks, everybody, for all your comments tonight. And it's been some great comments I've seen up there. And I didn't get a chance to hammer a bunch of things. But, if he watches the show and people watch the show, they'll see some of the comments. And thanks for the prayers for Larry's mom. And, hey, God bless you all. Hey, we'll see you next week. I got Pete Moriello in the house. And he's going to bring in a whole new crew of people because I'm going to let him kind of be the host as they sit here and just stare at him all night. Say, what the hell are you talking about? I'm sure it'll get really technical for you guys. So we'll see what's happening. Rick, let me know if you want to do the show. I still want you on the show one night, man. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. God bless you all. We'll see you next week. Rockin' and Racing returns. Chris Seaward, let's run the last of the commercials. Thanks to Steve. Thanks to Bucky's. Thanks to System Joe, Cascade Automotive, Wolf, and Rusty School Guitars. And I'm sure I always leave somebody out of that list, but don't me.
This has been Rockin' and Racing Live with Joe Walla right here on Facebook, Radio Buzz. Also, you can find us on YouTube. All the links will be there as well. We want to thank Stith Printing. Check them out online, stithprinting.com for all your printing needs. Bucky's
Sponsored
Racing.
by Bucky's Racing.
Check them out online, buckysracing.com. Also, System Joe. Visit with them. We want to thank them for being a featured sponsor for tonight's show. Run with the leader of the pack at Wolf Pumps. Wolfpumps.com. Rusty's Cool Guitars. Check them out online at rustyscoolguitars.com. Joe Walla, the ambassador for Rusty's Cool Guitars. Cascade Automotive Incorporated, Enumclaw, Washington.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll catch you guys all next week.
And thanks to all our guests tonight, Mr. Randy Walls, Jeb and Lisa, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it. Mr. Larry Fisher, thank you guys so much. Good look at Indy, everybody, next week. It's going to be a great time out there. Wish you guys all luck, and everybody out there, be safe. See you next week, Chris. See you next week, buddy.
Awesome. Let's get out of here.
All right, I got to go get a haircut.
Tacos.